Welcome back to the MCG. This crowd is continuing to grow. As we said last night, 77,500, and we're quite possibly not far off that number this afternoon. A fantastic response by the football-loving public of Australia, and a man who's so used to playing in front of big crowds and now calling in front of one is Kevin Bartlett. Pumped, KB?
Yes, looking forward to this game. As a kid, I bagged for the Bulldogs. I was here in 1954 and also in '61, down behind the Southern Goals. It's great to see them in the finals again. They've been a club that's gone through a lot of changes this year, changing even their name. Of course, we find them here today. It's a great, could be a Cinderella grand final between St Kilda and the Western Bulldogs.
You're tipping the Bullies?
I'm tipping the Bulldogs today.
Drew, your thoughts? Who do you like?
Well, I think the Bulldogs, the way they've come into this final series, having won 5 in a row, but the Adelaide Crows, the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of was 76,000, and that was the prelim final in '93. A lot of name changes since then. So whether stage fright might become just a factor for the Crows, it probably is the biggest crowd they've ever seen.
Let's go down to the ground level once again now. Our Master of Ceremonies from the AFL, Craig Willis.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Australian Football League and Coca-Cola welcome you to the first preliminary final here this afternoon at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Would you now please be outstanding for the playing of the national anthem?
Football fans pumped right around Australia from the Convention Centre in South Australia to the middle of the MCG, and that's where we find Terry Wheeler getting ready for the toss. Take it, Terry.
Okay, Scott Wine and Mark Bickley. Brett Allen throws it up. It's a tail. Scotty Wine. The breeze slightly into my face as I look at you now.
Thank you, Terry. So Scotty Wine winning the toss for the Western Bulldogs. Nigel Smart addressing the Adelaide Crow players. Scotty Wine gathers his Bulldogs. There's young Leon Cameron, arms around Jose Romero. And all is in readiness. The men in white today are Brian Sheehan, 38-year-old, who was All-Australian back in 1991. Brett Allen is a 31-year-old, and he's not umpiring. He spends his time as a gardener. Made his debut back in '92 and wearing 21, Greg Scroop. A West Australian who has had grand final experience in the West Australian Football League. Sheehan, Allen and Scroop, the men in white.
And Sandy, already the players have had quite a few words to say to each other. There's also been some buffeting out there as we go down to Neil Curley on the boundary line.
Yeah, thanks very much. Well, the talk around Melbourne this week has been Crows, welcome to the real football world. Well, they're here now, and of course in a couple of hours' time we'll know if they've been good enough, but it promises to be a very, very tough, hard start, this one. The Bulldogs jumped the Crows in Adelaide a couple of months back and won that footy match. The Bulldogs used the ball very well coming through the centre of the ground, particularly coming out of defence.
How do you feel,
There'll be a lot of
Curls?
high flyers today. It should be a beauty.
How do you feel? What do you think?
The Crows can win the footy match, but to win it, they have to start hard, fast and well.
Well, let's see how they do start. The start's going to be all important. The knockout final. Who is going to join St Kilda? Scotty Wine, Sean Wren, the two big men. It's Scotty Wine who gets the initial tap, and West couldn't take it, but Chris Grant do. Comes to Curley. He's almost onto centre wing. Curley looks up towards left half forward. Trying to take the mark from behind was Darcy. Couldn't do so. Costa defends. Just taps it 5 or 6 metres. Liberatore and Hart go to ground, and there'll be a bounce. Only 40 metres out of the centre.
Sandy, already there's been a big move. Jamison's lined up in the forward pocket. He kicked 6 goals in the last home and away game, so a big move by Malcolm Blight.
Darcy goes early, but wins it. Hart is there for the Crows. Little toe poke. Opens the door, however, for Scotty West. Chance for the Bulldogs once again as Cameron chips up towards Darcy. Darcy goes again. Back to Liberatore. The Bulldogs chipping it around up to half forward as Wren comes over the top. Oh!
Well, that'll test the shoulder out very early for Jose Romero.
Well, he's picked himself up very smartly.
Kick by Romero, well inside 50. On ground level. Cook goes towards the boundary line. Little Libber in the forward pocket. A centering ball. Chance for Hudson. Caven gets back there for the Crows. Good, safe defensive mark.
Now, Hudson had to take body, at least in that situation. As we look back here at Sean Wren, not much in that. It's just here where Jose hops it back up from the ground. And really just a gentle nudge there too. Jose making the most of it.
Crows have worked it up to centre wing. Sampson soccers off the ground to centre half forward. Wind a bit of a fumble. He has support. Brad Johnson. Maybe unfortunate to miss All-Australian selection. Goes across the half-back line. Bounces the ball out of bounds for a throw-in. Half forward for the Crows. Starting the game on the bench for the Crows have been Edwards, Aaron Keating and Orman Allen. And we've already passed the expected maximum by 2 degrees. 17 degrees, warm and sunny in Melbourne. Bond, inside attacking 50. 2-1 Dogs. Curley's there, number 11. Jarman, a bit of a fumble. Curley picked up Jarman in the game in Adelaide earlier on. Bickley's shot is offline and goes out of bounds on the full. On the bench for the Bulldogs, Nathan Brown, Michael Martin and Mark West starting the game.
So Scotty West to bring the ball back into play. No score so far in the match. So he pumps the ball back towards the half-back flank. Scotty Wine, the skipper's in front. It's been a tough opening. Feeds the ball off to Cameron. Outstanding last finals game. Goes short. Finds Alice. Had a great first half of the season, then struggled. Maybe back in form. Goes down towards the half-forward line. Good mark to Goodwin. Bit too tall that time for Hudson. An interesting move, Tim, with Jamison lining up on the forward line.
Obviously, they're concerned about their goal-kicking power. Hudson's been in 2 contests, and he has to get body on body, at least force a crumb if he can't take the ball himself.
Caven pumps the ball back towards centre half forward. Crofts in front. Modric comes from behind, got his hands on the ball. They need a crummer at ground level. Allen goes to ground. Ellis is in there as well. Jamison over the top, and they'll ball it up.
Already Scotty Wine's shown his intentions today. He's gone back into the hole, and Luke Darcy will be asked to take the ruck work around the ground. Scott Wine is going to get in front of Tony Modra, make it very difficult for him to lead into any sort of space.
Saw Shane Allen in that pack. Interesting times for him, and also Kim Costa against their own side. Robran takes the hand pass, flicks it in towards goal. He's away to the right. But he's got the first score of the day on the board. Matthew Robran. The Crows bench look on. A big day for Aaron Keating. He normally wears a head protector after being bashed on the Gold Coast by a group of thugs a number of years ago. Here's Scotty West taking the kick in, and from half back can send the Dogs up towards Ellis territory in the middle. He floats over the top and takes a beauty. Hasn't missed a game this year, Craig Ellis, and now Liberatore goes up towards full forward. The Dogs deep into attack. No mark is going to be paid. Looking for it was Brett Montgomery. Didn't quite come his way. Overrun by Johnson. Pressure now on the Crows' defence. Hart rides one bump, goes again, and Hart gets them out of trouble. Back towards the middle of the ground, but only as far as Simon Cox, who steadies at half-back. Cox comes towards Johnson. Marks on centre wing. What a fairy tale for this boy. A local boy who's loved the club since he could walk. Darcy. No doubt his father, David, himself a former league player in 2 states, will be very interested to see his son playing today. Leon Cameron has it on the outer wing.
Well, Leon Cameron, he's virtually a new recruit after injuries in the last season and a half. Cook. James Cook the mark, 48 metres out.
And they're not suffering from finals nerves, are they? They've been very adventurous early in this part of the game with their kicking, their field kicking. It's the #1 short kicking side, the Western Bulldogs, up against the #1 long kicking side in the competition, the Adelaide Crows. A real contrast of styles.
What a comeback by James Cook. He kicked 5 goals in 5 games last year. This year he's kicked 30, 11 in his last 2 games. So he's on fire in front of the sticks. And even a 50-metre distance shouldn't bother James Cook. Start of a final might have some effect. Looks good. What a goal! First goal of the game.
Yes, and they went by the Cape to actually set that goal up, the Western Bulldogs, and that's what they'll be doing. They'll be running out of defence. Their defenders stream out. We've already seen Ellis take a couple of balls in about the midsection of the ground. On this occasion, they went right over one wing, went back across the other side. Risky play, but they're going to back themselves in, the Western Bulldogs. If they're going to lose today, they're going to lose at playing the same style of football they've played all year.
First blood to the Dogs. They lead by 5 points. Wren versus Wine. Liberatore, the junkyard dog, kicks the ball back. Goodwin dropped it under pressure from Hudson, then does well with strength. Pumps the ball back towards centre half forward. The big fist away came from Dent at ground level. Bulldogs have got the numbers. Paddling the ball along was Cameron. Good play by Curley. Started his career with Collingwood. Become a major player now with the Bulldogs. There's a great mark taken by Johnson. Smack bang in the centre of the MCG. Kicks the ball out towards the half forward line. 1-on-1. Hudson's in front. He's got it. Used his body well, Tim.
He certainly did. He stuck his backside out just to give him a little bit of space. And once again, the Bulldogs switching play and going through Johnson, who's a very good mark over his head. And they'll be happy with that match up against Connell, I believe.
So Hudson has kicked 26 goals for the season. Played in the Hawthorn Premiership in '91. Also won the Michael Tuck medal. Looking for a premiership now with the Bulldogs. So Hudson from just inside 50. He's off target, just a minor score.
We've got to take your chances. We saw North Melbourne last night just staying in touch with St Kilda because they took their chances in the first half. And we also see Heatley last night, 7 goals. What a magnificent goal kicker and a man who just takes his chances almost every time.
Ben Hart wants his big man around on the outer side, but here's the form player as far as the Crows are concerned. McLeod looks up towards left half forward, towards Robran. He was caught at the back. Chance now for Liberatore to take the hand pass away. They're going to get out of trouble again as Ellis flicks it up towards half forward. A wall of Crow players, and Sean Wren has been in excellent form. Goes across to the dual All-Australian in Hart. He steadies towards Peter Caven. Caven's on half-back. He's got a big job today on Chris Grant, but he's been very good recently, Peter Caven.
Sensational this year at centre half-back.
Again, Robran is the target. Has to beat a couple. Shane Allen had a bad bounce. Bickley a beauty. Bickley goes in towards the half-forward line. Some nudging going on. Modras at the back. Didn't try to take it cleanly. Tried to slap it and almost succeeded to Costa. Here's a chance there for the Crows, but they're ridden into the ground. A cry of ball as it's pushed towards the line. It goes unheeded and uncalled by the umpires. There'll be a throw-in.
Geez, probably almost a little bit unlucky not to get one too high there. I saw the umpire take the whistle to his mouth.
You're right, Tim. The whistle went up and then went down again.
Robran held it for a long time. Jamison, Costa, caught high, caught again, loses the ball. Robran smothered. It's tight. Liberatore underneath. West gets caught. No one able to get it out cleanly. A great battle in that forward zone. It's locked up. There'll be a bounce.
Now, if the umpires are going to pay the free kicks like they are at the moment, then that'll be okay. But if they're going to pick one out for a high free kick at some stage, then there will develop the inconsistency in the game.
Chance for the Crows here. Robran wins the hit out. Rintoul, number 42, over the line off Ellen, and the ball out of bounds.
That's right, Tim. It's really important that they set the pattern now, and if the players want to play footy, then the umpires should just let them go and basically just intervene when it's really necessary.
Only 25 metres from goal, Adelaide attacking. Wind almost clean possession. Bickley a good hand pass. Modra snap. High and offline. And through for a minor score. Tony Modra looked as though he was roaring to 100 goals for the season, but he got the staggers towards the end. He's kicked just 6 in his last 6 games.
That last passage of play, Drew, was pretty significant. Pack tackling by the Bulldog players. The ferocity in their tackling was just enormous. As we see Smith kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Cox. Does well to thump the ball over the line. Takes it away from Jamison. So they'll toss it back in. Bulldogs 1-1-7. Adelaide 2 behind, 2 points. Simon Cox on screen. Just his 3rd season. Was recruited from Glenelg. There's the interchange bench. Mark West, Martin and Brown. Young Nathan Brown in his 1st season of AFL football. The Morris medalist. What a great thrill it is for the youngster today as Darcy takes the free kick. On the half-back line. Always been big raps on Darcy. Put his teammate Smith under a lot of pressure. Back to Darcy. Good tackling by Hart. Darcy kicks a high ball back towards Wine. Tries to tap it over. Looking for a crumb getter. Rintoul was caught. Bulldogs going in ferocious at the moment in the centre of the ground. Allen does well against his old club as the Crows pump the ball back towards centre half forward. Jamison under pressure. Tries to get the hand pass away. Skipper gets the ball out wide. Chance now. Robin inside 50. It can't come back. He's hit the post. We're behind 3 points to the Crows. 1-1-7 the Bulldogs.
And KB, all year we've seen the Western Bulldogs play a very attacking brand of football, but if they don't get the ball when they all run forward, we'll see situations like we just saw there. All the players on the wrong side of the ball and going back the other way. The Crows had the numbers and they really should have made more of that opportunity.
This is Leon Cameron. He's built like a stick insect, but he's very, very talented. Scotty West gives it back to him. And Cameron comes towards Wind on centre wing. Liberatore is there at the back to lend assistance. Away he goes to Curley. The Dogs are on a roll. Centering kick in towards half forward. They need a big mark. Darcy got a hand to it, but that was all. It comes towards Bubba Smith. Still a long way up from goal. 60 metres. Goes on to the left foot. Connell, a diving mark. And he's going to be paid, Matty Connell, at half-back. Started on the ground after being named to start initially on the bench. Comes wide to Wren, off towards Costa. He's in trouble. Liver bounces off him. Goes over the top to Chris Grant. Now here's a charge for the Dog. Grant can stab into the pocket. The kick was a beauty. The pass was okay. And the mark has been taken just 30 metres out by Brett Montgomery.
And all day we're going to see the Crows playing through Sean Wren when they get control of the ball in the back half, because Scotty Wine goes straight down the other end of the ground, as I said earlier in the commentary, to get in the space in front of Tony Modra. So Sean Wren will be the free player on the way back.
It's a 50-50 shot at goal almost this year. 18 goals, 16 behinds to Montgomery. It's a highly talented sportsman. Starts that right. It stays right, goes in towards the square, and a free kick has been picked out on the last line of defence. It's going against Luke Darcy, and it'll be taken by Sean Wren. He can't do that. He's going to have to go back, kick over the mark, so he'll have to ignore the lead of Hart and look further downfield. Been one of the form players in recent weeks as far as the Crows are concerned, but look at Leon Cameron. Wants to go on with the job, does Leaping Leon. He passes in towards half forward, or the mark dropped by Hudson. An excellent opportunity gone begging there. Johnson's a chance to clear.
Kane Johnson for the Crows. To the southern stand wing. Ellen and Cox. Paddled back by Ellen. Bickley. Scott West and Liberatore been rotating on Mark Bickley, the dangerous skipper. He kicks to 50. Wine back there to help the defence. It comes to Robin. Good hand pass to Jarman. Wide out. Jamison near the boundary line. Modra. Good mark. Just as the ball was about to sail out of bounds on the full, Modra snatched it in front of the cricketers' dressing rooms, and it looked like a slips catch. Well, he can't see daylight between the posts. And straight across the ground and out of bounds in the opposite pocket. Well, Modra kicked 4 goals in the first quarter. when the Crows beat the Bulldogs in round 5 at Optus Oval, and they went on to win by 50. But he hasn't been able to buy one since. But he can mark high and he can mark low, KB.
And that was a very poor kick. Croft from the back pocket. Kicks along to a big pack of players. Wren was in front. Darcy with the long arms. The go-go gadget man went up.
Free kick paid for a push, KB.
So Wren takes the free kick. It's virtually on centre wing. Keating is sitting on the interchange bench. Pittman is sitting in the stands.
This is the problem now. He's going to be kicking the ball. He's outside 50, and Scotty Wine's right in the spot where he wants to aim the ball.
So the crowd wanting to kick the ball. It's a floater inside 50, off hands. It's a loose ball. Ramiro playing game number 150 on the half-back line. Gets it back to Scotty West, the partner in crime. Here's the loose play. It's been set up. Gives it across. This is Montgomery. Rockets a ball inboard. Chance for Dent. Runs inside 50. Bulldogs. He drills it. Great play by the Bulldogs.
Now that's where the Crows are really going to have to concentrate on today, because when the Bulldogs brought the ball out from defence, immediately the defenders, the Western Bulldogs defenders, started to stream forward. Now, if the Adelaide Crows forwards aren't concentrating, then those players will come down the ground free, as Dent did on that occasion. And I'm sure Malcolm Blight will send the runner out and tell the boys to concentrate when the ball is in the Western Bulldogs' control.
So Matthew Dent has his first and the Bulldogs second. They lead by 10 points. Wine and Wren. Wine wins it out of the middle. He gives it to Jose, who bangs a long bomb down towards full forward once again. Couple of Crows fly. Smart tries to push it wide, but only as far as Smith. Smith kicks under pressure and he goes out of bounds on the fall.
Scotty Wine's been terrific in the centre bounces too, Sandy. That's the third time he's actually been able to get Wren out of the way and gain possession of the ball.
Here's Johnson. The youngster kicks up towards centre wing and again finds it Sean Wren. Johnson playing only his 24th game. Big moment for him. An opportunity now for Cox. Gets the hand pass away towards Cameron. The Doggies getting plenty of possession, but that kick too is wide. Keating is down on the sidelines, about to have his first run. The helmet is on and he is ready to go. Mark Bickley is their skipper. From half-back. Bickley's been in good form recently. Kicks towards left half forward. Caven was in that pack and flying. Couldn't take it. Interesting hand pass from Marrero, straight up and down. Bond copped a rev last week from Malcolm Blight and then virtually won the game. Here's Shane Allen now. Shrugs the tackle. 65 metres out. Looks towards Modra. 1, 2, 3. Going to be paid.
It's a very good kick into the space in front of Modra on that occasion, and Wine just couldn't get himself to the contest, as we see Sean Wren actually coming off the ground to be replaced by Keating. And a good kick then too. I thought Allen probably could have gone a little bit further because all the other players had peeled off.
84 goals so far this season, named in the All-Australian, but he needs a confident boosting start to get the Crows going and to get Tony Modra going. One behind. Lee Matthews has joined us today too to look at this game via video analysis. Lee.
Well, yes, that running goal from Matthew Dern. Have a look at this. This is where he is on the half-back line there. Let's roll it, and he just charges off the half-back line and eventually will end up with the ball. That is running back work, running from the back line through the 50-metre mark and kicks the goal.
Back live and play up near centre wing. Kane Johnson gets the hand pass forward for the Crows. It was going to be a free advantage. Now Bickley unmarked, and Bickley goes for goal, and the Crows have been wasteful. That's 5 behinds to the Adelaide Crows.
The only thing they're not doing at the moment, Drew, is they're not putting the goals on the board because they're actually taking the ball into their own 50 as often as the Western Bulldogs.
Curls.
Bad sign for D. Jarman. Hasn't had a possession yet.
Now Leon Cameron kicks in. Hard to tell whether he's a left or right footer. Straight to Curley. Back to Cameron. He goes left again. Close to the boundary line and over. Wasn't even close in the end. That was poor disposal by Leon Cameron. And the free kick will be taken by Kane Johnson. Dogs 2-1, Adelaide 5 behind. Bond, kick and a half from goal. A centering kick. And they found a bit of space here for Connell, but still too far out to score. Modra leads from the goal square. There's plenty filling the hole in front. Modra did well to get up high. Romero a little hand pass, knocked on by Jamison. Dent.
He's in trouble.
Croft. And the kick straight onto the chest of Peter Caven. Surely this will be their first goal, but he's missed too.
Tony Modra's down. Tony Modra is down, Drew. And it looked like he might have even grabbed his knee when he went down.
He looked to clutch his knee, didn't he? I think it's his left knee. That's his right now.
So this is a tragedy now for Adelaide with Modra, that high flyer. Such an important player, Coleman medalist this year.
Incredible, really, isn't it? Last night, after just 11 minutes, the great player in Corey McKernan taken from the ground with his shoulder dislocated, and now Tony Modra, one of the aces as far as the Adelaide Crows pack is concerned. It appears though he too is going to be stretchered from the ground.
Yeah, that's his left, Tim.
It's his left knee, in fact.
So
yes.
he came in with his right knee strapped, but he's done the other one. Actually, he hasn't missed all that many games in his life, Tony Modra, considering he jumps so high and comes down and hits hard.
Well, he played every game this year.
And the Crows will now be forced to reshuffle their forward line. It'll be interesting to see where, in fact, they place Wren. They're going to bring Wren onto the ground, whether or not they actually put him into full forward, because he has played a little bit of football down there. And that'll be interesting because that will also force the Western Bulldogs to change their defensive structure too. We've got Scotty Wind, who's been filling in that hole. Maybe now they're going to have to shift to Scotty Wind or even a Keating. Sorry, a Scotty Wind or a taller player down there.
And watching from the Great Southern Stand is Peter McKenna, and being a former great forward, you'd be bitterly disappointed at seeing one of the highlights of the game now virtually disappearing as far as Tony Modra is concerned for the day, Pete.
I am very disappointed, Sandy, and I think all the spectators would be, because he's such an exciting player with that aerial ability of his, and he was starting to look dangerous leading out. I would be putting Darren Jarman down there now. He's been well held by Ramiro, Sandy, and I'd get him deep in the forward line because they're kicking from 50 metres, their shots at goal, and Jarman with his cleverness from 30 metres could be very, very dangerous.
I would suspect, though, that Sean Wren would go to full forward. Actually, when he came off the ground before, Tim, I thought maybe instead of coming off the ground, he might be more useful to the side by being in the forward pocket alongside Modra because of his height. Be interesting now to see if, in fact, his height can cause a problem. Lee?
Has been on Jarman for the majority, but when Jarman has gone forward and Costa's gone onto the ball, Ramiro stayed in the centre square, so it's not a complete tagging job being done on Jarman, but as Curl said, he's just not finding his way into the game.
So Tony Modra straight down to the rooms, and I'm sure that Neil Curley will have a report on that as soon as something becomes official.
And Wren looks to have taken up that main forward post now.
Tragic news for the Adelaide Crows. But the game goes on. Let's see if they can lift. They're still looking for their first goal. They've got 6 behinds on the board. The Bulldogs at 2-1. Cameron chips into Scotty West, almost at half-back. Runs to that position now and then looks towards Johnson on centre wing. He's a very strong young player, this boy, and he's highly talented. Marks in front of Robrin. West had dropped down into the middle. Wine does the shepherding work. Cameron has followed it all the way down. Kicks towards half-forward. Grant is there. He can go even wider. Does so now. Danger here as far as the Adelaide Crows are concerned. They're staring down the barrel. In towards full forward. A little too high for Cook. Goes in towards the pocket. The Crows should be able to tidy up through Goodwin. Gets a short kick back towards the half-back flank region. Sampson is there.
Away to Caven. And his kick over centre wing. Dent over the top. Matthew Dent, fantastic final so far. Leon Cameron has been superb. Darcy underneath it. At the back, Grant. Traps it in well, Chris Grant. Gets it off. Smith dragged down. Still a chance for Rowan Smith. Back to Scott West. Offline, he had players aplenty. Shot for goal and missed everything. Now, Neil Curley, what about Tony Modra?
Yeah, not good news at all. It's his left knee. The doctor said it doesn't look good. I don't think he'll take any further part in the game.
Bulldogs by 7 points. Caven in the back pocket. He's got a loose player in Connell. Underrated player. Wins a lot of the ball. Transfers it towards the outer side of the ground. He's looking for Bond. A slight nudge out from Dent.
That's the second time he's been beaten in the air too, KB. He's not really the player to be kicking the ball up in the air too when they're going wide.
Hudson's the target. Goes to ground in front of Goodwin. Can't handle the ball. A bad fumble. Goodwin comes in. Does well for the Crows under pressure. And heads the ball back over the line. They'll toss it back.
There's a real difference, isn't it? When the Western Bulldogs go forward, they go through Johnson, who is a very good marking player, and the Crows have been trying to play out through Bond, who's not particularly good over his head.
And there's Rowan Smith on the ground. Certainly hasn't got a tattoo yet. It's the ball on centre wing position. Ellis beaten this time. Rintoul had to get rid of it. Bulldogs got numbers across half back. They've been flooding the back line. Ball comes back to Dent, back to Ellis. So the pilot from half back. Some fancy footwork. He's caught under danger now. Troy Bond can set it up. Gives it across to Allen outside of 50. Tumbles the ball forward. It's a poor kick. And a boundary throw in. 13 plays 6.
2.5 minutes left in this first term, KB. 7 points the margin. The Crows still looking for their first goal. They've got the chance now. Just 20 metres out. Wren doing the ruck work, but he's beaten by the big man in Wine, taken away initially by Dent. Back towards centre wing, and taking a timely mark is Chad Rintoul. The youngster comes in towards Connell. Matty Connell across the ground to Kane Johnson. Now Johnson can go forward here. Has a look in towards the 50-metre, and Rod Jamieson didn't appreciate the tap on the back of the neck. Was trying to steal 50, but trying in vain. Hart is just inside 50.
Well, it's a relatively difficult kick, this one, because there's not that many players in the competition who can kick the ball beyond 50 and clear the goal line.
Right on the 50 mark. Again, away to the right. So that is the 7th behind for the quarter. Lee, a comment from you?
Well, some precision kicking. They're about to kick the ball in the Bulldogs. Have a look at the last one. We've got Wren here, and we've got the other Crows player here playing the zone, and they kick the ball straight up the middle. Look at this for precision kicking, splitting the target. See what he does this time.
Now Leon Cameron to kick in. He's had a magnificent first quarter. 11 possessions for Leon Cameron. Now Dent. Curley, defensive 50. Been a far cry from their opening term against the Swans a fortnight ago when they kicked 9 goals. It's just 2 goals, 2-1 to 7 points. Grant can't mark. Liberatore looks for Romero, gets his own footy. Taken out beautifully by Keating. Costa under pressure. Liber again. Oh, fantastic. To the edge of the square. Punch down. Hudson. Just 20 metres out from goal. And that ball is locked in there, and the umpire will pull it up.
Well, it's Simon Goodwin the feeling. I think he's somewhere underneath that pack.
Yes, last up. Picked himself up off the ground. Last minute of the opening term.
Bulldogs by 6 points. A big chance. The ball up just 30 metres out from goal. Keating on the ground. A free kick. And it's going to the Bulldogs. Listen to the roar. And Darcy, and look at Keating's face.
Greg Scroop signalling high contact by Keating, but it'll be interesting to see it on replay because I certainly couldn't tell what it was for without seeing Greg Scroop's signal.
Well, early in the season, Luke Darcy got a free kick against Melbourne against Jimmy Steins, which won him the game. This is interesting. Oh, no free kick there.
That's certainly very, very soft in the context of AFL footy.
And a bloke's lining up for goal.
So Luke Darcy, 35 metres out. He's missed. Justice. And he's been dumped to the ground by Keating.
I think Luke Darcy's been lucky once. I don't think he'll be lucky twice.
Just 17 seconds remaining in this first term. As Hart goes wide, he looks for McLeod. He's got him. McLeod from half back. Pumps the ball back towards centre wing. Stand his ground, He's got 3 to beat. Keating made good ground. Costa, bit of strength, gets the ball back to Sampson. Centre wing, grabs the ball over the line. The siren sounds a very tough and tight first term.
And the Western Bulldogs, they kicked the goals in that first quarter. The Adelaide Crows took the ball forward. We see that charge again by Keating, and he has to be very careful doing things like that. But the Adelaide Crows well and truly in this game. I believe that what they're going to have to do, though, is they're going to have to send someone forward to pick up Scotty Wine. One of the reasons why they have kicked 7 behind is that Scotty Wine has blocked their path to the goal, and they've been forced to go wide. They've been forced to kick goals from a fair way out as well. And I believe that that's one thing, as we see there, Malcolm Blight, as he moves towards the huddle, that's perhaps one thing he'll have to consider before half-time.
7 points the margin here at the MCG in this knockout final. It's the Bulldogs. Strader in front of goal, 2-2-14 Adelaide, 7 behind. So just about set to go now, second quarter. Good first quarter as the battle to see who will play St Kilda. And the 97 grand final continues to unfold. Wide wins it, but Scott couldn't take it out. They want Jarman to fire the Crows, and he pumps it long down in towards the pocket. Bond, he booted 3 last week. Too late in the game to seal it. But he's taken over the line on this occasion. There'll be a throw-in in the left forward pocket.
Aaron Keating to the forward line. Man who's had just 1 kick in AFL football.
It was 1 kick and 1 hand pass, Drew, wasn't it, in that first game? A long time ago. And that has bounced just inside the line. Fortune smiling on Scotty Wine. So a throw in the left forward pocket. Neil Curley and Terry Wheeler down on the sidelines. Here's Ringtool, a snap. And the 8th behind goes on the board. Now, Curls and Terry, your thoughts on the first quarter, boys?
Well, it's going to take a long time to catch up. They keep kicking points, but Malcolm Blight at quarter time was just concerned about the players not picking up the Western Bulldogs boys when they break out of defence, and also wasn't particularly happy with Keating when he ran through Darcy. Could have given a free away.
And Sandy, really, it was just the direct opposite, the run from the Bulldogs from behind. Terry Wallace very happy with that, continuing with that, and the good quality use of the ball.
Crows are only 1 kick behind. Oh, Mark! And Ben Hart at centre-half forward will be kicking for goal from about 52 metres out. Well, he goes in short, and Jamison's on his own. Well, the Bulldogs' defence at 6s and 7s here.
This might cheer you up, Curls.
Certainly will.
And that kick out really, as a result of the pressure that the umpire then put on the kicker, telling him that he had to move it on quickly and probably taking the wrong option.
Rod Jamison to level the scores early in the second quarter. Crows fans behind the kick, they like it. And they love it in Adelaide as well.
Well, at quarter time, the only spot the Adelaide Crows were losing was on the scoreboard. They'd had plenty of the play. They'd taken the ball inside their 50-metre forward line arc as often as the Western Bulldogs. They just had kicked inaccurately, and they're doing pretty well in the midsection of the ground. And one matchup that's probably not to their liking at the moment is McLeod on Rowan Smith. It's taking McLeod out of the play. Smith playing right up in the 10-metre goal square.
Rod Jamison kicking his first goal today. Kicked 6 in the last game against Essendon out at Optus Oval. It was a surprise move by putting up on the forward line by Malcolm Blight. Modra's off the ground. Here's Hart across half-back. He set it up before to Connell. All of a sudden, they've gone up a cog. That goal's going to lift them. Good mark by Crediuk playing in front. Crediuk runs into trouble. Caught. Loose ball, Dent from half-back. All of a sudden, a few errors creeping into the Bulldogs game. The big high flyer was Hart, got the fist of the ball. That's a sign of strength. Liberatore at ground level. Feeds the ball off to the running Cox. Comes all the way down from the back pocket. Long raking kick, looking for down here. Smart in front. Thought he had it, lost it. The captain's got him. Cook, no free kick. Loose ball once more on 50. Johnson with those quick hands. Back to Hudson. hooks the ball back. Here's a great grab by Grant. They were just persistent then, the Bulldogs.
Good quick hands in by Johnson, just doing the first thing and then just mopping it up was Chris Grant, who'd lost his man, went forward with the flow of the play.
Well, the All-Australian centre-half forward has been All-Australian before. Best and fairest twice. In fact, it was his first time picked as an All-Australian. Best and fairest twice. Just might head the count on Monday night in the Brownlow, even though he's ineligible. Chris Grant. He'll be kicking from around about 30 metres, directly in front. And he's got it.
Well, they're taking their chances, the Western Bulldogs, and that may just be the difference at the end of this game. They just didn't start this second quarter as well as they did in the first quarter. They just appeared to be just a little bit on their heels. A couple of errors already in the first part of this second quarter. And on this occasion, just a quick kick, and Chris Grant is a very good finisher, doing the rest.
Bulldogs by 6 points after Chris Grant's goal.
Here's Wren and Wine. One by Wren, down towards Jarman. Starting to pick up a few stats now. Kicks towards the half-forward line. At the back is Keating. He's clean bowled. Bond may get the opportunity. He lunges in over the top. Robrin gets the call out wide from Chadrin Toole. Chadrin Toole! What a snap by the youngster! Playing in only his 10th game and kicking just his 7th goal for the year, and that is one of his best.
And that's what they need Rintoul to do, just to get at the fall of the ball, get the crumbs, get under the packs, pick the ball up, snap truly. And that occasion, the Crows getting the ball out of the centre once again. Sean Wren's done particularly well in the early part of the second quarter. Jarman, that's his second clearance from the centre bounce. He's very good in that area. And even Keating, just the way he came out and met that ball, caused a crumb.
Scores level again. Wren beats Wind in the middle. And forward goes Johnson. And at the back, Jamison. They're excited in Adelaide, but Jamison has to give it up. Stephen Cretiuk to take the free kick. He goes towards the southern stand side. The ruckman get caught underneath the ball. Hart, mark of the game so far. Floats a hand pass. Jarman totally cut out of it. Cox. Jarman applies the tackle. Curley. Connell keeps it in for the Crows. Keating. He's got it! Welcome to finals football.
Jose's down.
Ramiro hurt his shoulder in that collision a moment ago when Jarman just hipped him out of the way. He went straight to the ground. He's in definite pain there, as you see the trainers just helping him to his feet. Just watch this again. Jarman hips him out of the way, and the shoulder goes up on that occasion, and that's exactly the movement that particular joint just did not want to go through today.
Now here's Aaron Keating, virtually a recruit in the game, to kick a goal in a final. And he's hit the post. And, well, Jose Romero lasted till the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. But I think they might rue their selection decision.
To the southern stand, Peter McKenna.
It's an interesting contrast, Sandy, down in the forward line. The Crows start with 3 in the goal square, whereas the Bulldogs down the other end start with Rowan Smith, 1 out there. But they've got numbers down at the forward line and good players in the square, the Crows.
Well, the game goes on, even though Ramiro's coming off the field. Bulldogs are 1 short. They go forward. Here's a chance. He's dropped the mark. Rintoul pounce on it. Back to Robin. 30 metres out into the square. Jamison can trap it. Snaps. He's got it.
Well, the Crows have gone up a notch in this second quarter. And now the challenge is going to be fairly and squarely at the feet of the Western Bulldogs. They're going to have to pick themselves up again and just answer this challenge, just to pull the momentum back in their favour. And one area where the Crows are dominating is in the centre bounces. All of a sudden, they're getting the ball out and putting pressure immediately on the Western Bulldogs.
Jose Romero heading towards the rooms. Rodney Jamieson may be heading towards glory. 2 quick goals in the second quarter. Wren tries to belt it out of the middle. The Bulldogs are starting to make a couple of changes now. They brought the youngster back onto the ground. Kicks up towards Bubba Smith. Couldn't take it cleanly. McLeod's got his measure. Away comes McLeod. Gets the hand pass. Oh, it's going to be intercepted by Scotty West. There's another Bulldog down.
Rowan Smith.
They're going down like 9 pins. It's Smith as Scotty West picks it up. Chips in towards the forward line. A little too short. Pressure on the defence. Jarman gets the hand pass away. The advantage is going to be paid. Jarman's out cold behind play. It doesn't stop McLeod getting the kick up towards centre wing. Good spoil. Pushed back inboard. Leon Cameron tries to get it out. Bickley comes in as if there's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow for the loser. Chad Rintoul has it on centre wing. Gives it across to Bickley. Back to Rintoul. If it sits, he's in business. Goes to ground. Loses the ball. It's tough at the moment. It's gone up at least a couple of notches. And bouncing off and coming away is Mark West. Gives it across to his namesake in Scotty. Looks towards the half-forward line. Couple went up a little too early. Picked up by Hudson. Tumbles it in towards full court. Disappointing kick. And no result. Jarman was one of those players down. He's picked himself up and they're asking him which ground he is at the moment.
Well,
Smith appeared to be cannoned into by one of his teammates coming in over the top.
Maybe his shoulder too, I think.
Yes, Michael Martin crashed into him.
And it appeared as though Martin was pushed into him, and then he's cleaned up Smith. So there's Rowan Smith, an All-Australian announced on Monday, and they could be 2 short for the rest of the game. The Crows were already 1 short.
Ramiro, in fact, didn't go up the race into the rooms. He actually stopped and came back and sat on the bench.
It's here for the Bulldogs. McLeod. Crows have certainly lifted, and at the moment they lead by 7 points. Sampson towards the centre of the ground. Mark West. West on the run. Long kick is a beauty. Cook. And James Cook, who got the Bulldogs off and running in the first quarter, has a pretty tough shot for goal because he took the mark right alongside the goalpost.
And West, who only came on the ground to replace Ramiro, has already had a couple of touches. Peter McKenna.
He's got to run out and have a snap on the right. He's got it.
Great call, Pete. The Bulldogs within a point.
And I think just prior to the Western Bulldogs taking the ball forward, there was a critical battle out here on the wing just in front of us, where there was a number of tackles. Libba was in there, and they really had to assert themselves at that particular stage, the Western Bulldogs. Crows had numbers there too. It was a real show of strength. The Western Bulldogs won the battle and took the ball forward, and I think that may have just given them a little bit of breathing space.
Adelaide by a point. There's Jose Ramiro still running around the boundary line, taking no prisoners here in the preliminary final at the MCG. On Channel 7's Footy's home ground, thumped away by Wren. It goes 30 metres. Dent tried to take it, top one behind the back of the head from Robrin. Smith looks like he's recovered from half back. Thumps the ball back towards centre half forward. Darcy sets himself in front. Those long arms, he's got it. So Luke Darcy looking for 50. He's already kicked a goal in the first quarter. Bulldogs trail by a point. Darcy kicks the ball into the pocket. He's looking for Montgomery. He's just come off the interchange bench. Being trapped by Grant. Twisting and turning. Some fancy footwork. Caught high. Loose ball. Montgomery can't bend it back. And through for a minor score. Scores a level. 27 points apiece. Lee, let's go and have a look at some video analysis.
Well, Cook got the goal, but on the flurry before that, we'll have a situation here. We see Hudson with the ball here and Grant with the ball there. And Hudson, of course, goes at the goals with the left foot. He should have given the ball to Grant, and Grant wasn't too happy. He would have ran into an open goal.
So Hart will go short, finds Connell, tries to get the ball moving quickly. Back to Goodwin, who's got the job playing on Hudson. Kicks ball back towards the half-back line, drops short, has been taken by Johnson, but play on was the cause. West tumbles the ball forward. Cook's got it. The captain, magnificent to Hudson, bangs it through.
Well, the Bulldogs answering the challenge in this second quarter. The early part of the quarter, the Adelaide Crows were in control. Now the Western Bulldogs appear to have arrested the momentum back in their favour. And Cook, just quick hands, obviously hearing the call there from Hudson. And the Adelaide Crows just not showing enough composure, moving the ball out of the back half. And that's an area of the game where the opposition really can make you pay, because all your players go forward, and you know that if you lose control of the ball, there's going to be the opposition players on the way back in numbers.
Only minutes ago, the Bulldogs were down by 7 points. Now they lead by 6. Sampson takes the Wren knockout. Tried to get it on towards Ellen. Ellen persists, but he's being forced to push it wide towards the boundary line. Good work on that occasion by Craig Ellis. The Bulldogs, after the Crows went up a notch, have lifted once again. Now they've got the chance through West. Here's Bubba Smith across centre wing. Smith steadies. He's pumped after that injury. Starting to pick up possessions at will. Kicks down towards the half-forward line. Johnson in trouble. Manages to get boot to ball in towards half-forward. But the mark taken by Peter Caven. Caven wastes no time. Defends to Nigel Smart. Well, he's got a chase on here. It's a one-out duel. Smart wins it by soccering it clear. Only as far as its centre wing. Now he's got to beat a couple. One was Martin. Gets him to ground. It's all locked up. There'll be a bounce.
Great battle, that. But just when the Bulldogs went forward a moment ago, Paul Hudson, he really had to do more than that. He didn't make enough space. He didn't really try and protect the ball carrier. And Brad Johnson, consequently, had a rush kick into their own forward line.
Sampson off, and Tyson Edwards comes on for the Adelaide Crows. Costa gets caught.
High tackle paid there. Greg Scroop obviously saw something after he'd called for what appeared to be a blow-up.
To be taken by Liberatore. Floating punt kick up towards the half-forward line. The flyer was Darcy, and he's got time to recover. In fact, he was paid the advantage because he got a push. He kicks up towards Cook, he takes the mark. Directly in front, 30 metres out.
Well, Darcy's starting to worry Hart just with his sheer height. Hart's probably giving away a number of centimetres, and unless he can get the actual jump on Darcy, then Darcy's just going to put those long arms up into the air, and with Hart's lack of height, he may give away free kicks like that.
So Cook for his 3rd and his 33rd for the season. The Bulldog fans love it. They've hit back. And hit back hard.
Well, they've just taken control of the ball around the packs again, the Western Bulldogs. They're working extremely hard to get the numbers at the ball. And this was a terrific kick by Darcy, because there were 2 leads on that occasion. There was a lead in short, but Darcy went for the longer lead, went to the lead of Cook, who's a very good finisher.
Seesawing game, and now the Bulldogs take a 2-goal lead again. From on high, we look at the centre bounce. Neither ruckman gets a touch. Jarman's recovered from what looked like it might have been a broken jaw. Grant goes back to Smith. He had a damaged shoulder. They're all going all right again now. Cook again. With him, Nigel Smart. Across in front of goal to Connell. And they set up along the southern stand side. Tony Modra off the ground. Don't expect to see him back today. Jarman flies at it, but goes without the football. Tony Liberatore, 12 touches for the little Libber. In he goes with the hand pass to Scott West. Not great distance with the kick. It falls in short, and Wren takes the chest mark.
50-metre penalty paid for that late contact on Sean Wren. Mark had been taken, put onto the ground, so Brett Allen determining that that was unduly wasting time, so 50-metre penalty paid.
And the Bulldogs have brought Rowan Smith into the game now. They've shifted him from the forward line. He's running at a half-back.
Well, Libber just charged back there, but didn't get a touch of the ball. Cretiuk's hand pass back to Dent, and he goes short. And the mark's taken by Cox. Left half-back flank for the Bulldogs. We're midway through the second quarter, and the Bullies lead by 2 goals.
In his 3rd season, originally from Glenelg, Simon Cox in 2 minds. Finally sets it up to Dent on the half-back line. So Dent now is going to transfer the play. Again, under pressure, back to West. They're fiddling around, back to Cox. Half-back line, kicks the ball. Good smother by Rintoul, so it's a loose ball. Silly play by the Bulldogs. Once more we see under pressure Cox. Long looping handball. Hard up on the line is West. Does well, good hands. Then kicks the ball long. Back towards the half-forward line. Big pack of players. They need a crummer. Pounced on by Grant. Feeds it out to Wine. Caught. Back to Grant. Magic play. Long waving hand pass. Here's Johnson. Outside, just inside 50 to the square. Cook uses his body. Ground level. Caven under pressure. On the wrong boot. Kicks the ball back towards the edge of the square. Got some good distance. Going to ground was Trent Orman. Allen. Allen has got it. So Orman Allen with a free on the edge of the centre square. Goes short. Rodman's the target. Had to bend down a long way. Taken by Ellis. The Bulldogs half-back line standing up. Smith on the rebound. Big chance now for the Bulldogs. Danger here for Adelaide. Hudson from right on 50 goes short. It's a poor kick. McLeod chips in. So rebound football, like throwing a rubber ball against a brick wall. It keeps coming back. Here's Tyson. Rockets the ball out wide. Caven's got it. Sets it up. Allen on the edge of the centre square.
Goes with a fleeting hand pass to Jarman. Beautiful skills by the master Jarman. And he goes! Throws it back. Jarman gets his first and his 199th career goal.
Well, we talk about it being a game of mistakes, AFL football. On that occasion, when the Western Bulldogs were going forward, Hudson really had the option, which was the first option, and that was to kick the ball quickly. He didn't take that option. He held on to the ball, and then he tried to drill a pass, which was just too difficult. It was cut off, the turnover, and the Crows getting a goal on the rebound.
What an absorbing struggle unfolding here at the MCG. A battle royal. Wren and Wine. West belts it. Scotty West, who we're seeing now, has been fantastic. Picking up possessions as well. He's had 16 now. Goes in towards the forward line. The defence is standing strong. McLeod, one of the Crows' best, comes wide. Tyson Edwards. Short in towards the middle and Wren. He's going to make the big man work. And he needs help. Looks towards half-forward, towards Rodman. 1, 2 grabs. Couldn't quite hold it at the 3rd attempt. Now he's got to defend. And it's locked up there, and up by Greg Scroop. Decides he'll come in and bounce. Taking the ball from Craig Ellis.
And McLeod's actually come into the play, Sandy, since Smith went back into the Western Bulldogs' defence, because McLeod's now up the ground a little bit, picking up Nathan Brown.
One by Wine, but he threw it, said the umpire. Correct, John?
That's what he's called.
The only way he could get it out to Simon Cox.
It's difficult to handball the ball with one hand.
The way you said that's what he called, I wonder if you agreed or not. Ellen goes short to Beckley. There's Troy Bond. But Matty Connell's even shorter. No closer to goal, but he has opened it up a little.
Bickley only 2 touches this quarter in 22 minutes.
Rod Jamison. Now Wren. Well, the big man's going to have to move. He put him under pressure. Scotty West has been absolutely everywhere. Goes again and gains probably 20 metres.
He's been busy in this second quarter, Scotty West. He's already had 17 possessions, 13 kicks and 4 handballs. A hard-working midfielder, Scotty West, and most of his handballs hit their targets too.
Boundary throw in. Darcy comes from behind Wren, but Wren wins. Off the ground by Hart.
Would have been a ripper. Been training with Modra.
Second behind for Ben Hart. Now, video analysis. Here's Lee Matthews.
Yes, the reason that Crows can't get it forward at that 50-metre line, Scott, as we know, Scott Wine's dropping back here, and other Bulldogs players are zoning up in this situation, so there's no space for the Adelaide Crows forwards to lead into. They have to chip it across the 50-metre line.
Bulldogs by 5 points. Jarman indicating a bit of a nudge out. It's taken by Ellis.
Not the best angle there, but certainly from where we are, there were two actions.
Wren in front. Darcy does well, got a hand on the ball. West, Scott West once more at the bottom of the pack. And they'll ball it up.
That's all he had to do in that situation too, wasn't it, KB? He was out of position. He was never going to mark the ball, but at least he affected the knockdown, and the Western Bulldogs players in numbers at the fall of the ball. It could have been an opportunity for them to clear that pack.
Wren, this time beaten by Darcy. Taken by Johnson. Libber for those quick hands. Magic play. Gets it across to Rowan Smith. Just outside of 50. It's a long bomb. This could bounce. They need the bounce the right way. Wrong way. Shaves the post. And one behind. So 40 plays, 34. Under 5 minutes of action left. Malcolm Blight. Cool, calm and collected in the coach's box.
You think? So it'll be hard to bring it back into play. A crucial 5 minutes remaining in this first half. And the kick out that puts pressure on his defenders. Crunch! Down they go. Well done by McLeod initially. And taken over the line. He picks himself up. Been a revelation, Andrew McLeod. Cleaned up Ronnie Burns in no uncertain fashion. And played a lot of defence as a youngster in the Northern Territory. Here's Martin West in trouble. Taken high. And again, Jarman can't believe it.
I'd like to see that one again, Sandy, because that, I believe, was a set play that the boys practice at training during the week. Just watch that. Luke Darcy took the opposition ruckman out of the contest, and West was right in behind him, knowing that the ball was just going to fall free, came in, and perhaps getting a very lucky free kick in the end, though.
I think you're right, Tim. I think Mark West certainly contributed to the contact above the shoulder and certainly ducked his head, so in those circumstances, lucky to get the free kick.
So West, an opportunity to stretch the lead for the Bulldogs. He likes it. He loves it. No wonder. Mark West gets his first. And the Doggies again give themselves a little bit of breathing space.
Hopefully we'll see this again on the replay. Just watch this. Darcy just takes Wren out of the way. And there we see West just falling into the hole. They practice that at training, the boys. And West just running in onto that and perhaps getting a lucky free kick in the end. But he's taking his chances. He's been good since he came onto the ground to replace Jose Romero.
Bulldogs lead back to 2 goals. Wind in the middle. Liberatore. Martin floats it out in front of Mark West. Long kick to the goal square. Cook is there. He's kicked 3. Oops. And he's a chance for 4. Gives off the hand pass. Brown, he's recovered from the knock. Grant trying to keep it in. And through it goes for a minor score. Now a 13-point lead to the Bulldogs. And young Nathan Brown just into the action. I reckon he saw a few stars when he met Andrew McLeod. Hart has taken the mark of the day so far. Well, Jose Romero, if he had treatment, he's finished with that and he's back on the bench. So that's a good sign for the Bulldogs. Good sign for his teammates to see him. Hart straight up the ground. Rintoul. Jarman. Needs to lift a bit, Darren Jarman. 7 touches. He's lost it to Martin. Brown, 35 metres up.
Good work by Mark West.
Mark West has been sensational since he came onto the ground. He's such a hard-working player. Just watch him put this tackle on Darren Jarman. Fantastic, desperate bit of play. And this is where a side can be really hurt on the rebound after they've set their zone up, all going forward.
Brown for goal. No problem. A 19-year-old playing in a preliminary final. What a moment for him.
Yes, and he's just received the message to actually come off the ground. Obviously taking a couple of knocks in that quarter. Leon Cameron is coming back onto the ground. We see that tackle again there by West. He's been terrific with his endeavour and his assault on the ball and man with the ball, and he's leading the way in the midfield for the Western Bulldogs at the moment.
Bulldogs by 19 points. West, since he's come on the ground, he's had 7 possessions. He's kicked a goal, he's first for the year, and there's West once more applying the pressure. Dent just ran into Liberatore. Good enough to get the ball away. Looking for Cox. Caven does well. Just paddles the ball along. West once more throwing the body in, flexing the muscles, blowing up the biceps. He's all pumped up. You also see in the window young Nathan Brown, Morris medalist from last year. Just come onto the ground. He's kicked the goal. Gets a pat on the head from Montgomery. Darcy caught behind Wren. Ball's flipped out. Darcy back to West. He's been a star. Pumps the ball inside 50. Grant sets himself and the champ's got it.
And Terry Wallace perhaps trying to get a mismatch with McLeod by taking Brown off the field. He's brought Leon Cameron on. Leon Cameron's gone into that forward pocket. He's got a distinctive height advantage over McLeod, and perhaps that's the reason for that. But this bloke here on screen, Chris Grant, been magnificent again today.
He's kicked 313 career goals. He kicked the goal in this term. So Chris Grant directly in front. This will put the Bulldogs to 25 points up. Great camera shot. And you see there he's pushed it right.
Well, Peter McKenna, you were watching that kicking action there of Chris Grant. Did you see anything that perhaps he did incorrectly on that occasion?
Well, Tim, he's always a very relaxed kicker, as you can see when he came in. He keeps it low, but he just dropped it to the side of the boot, and it was just normally he's fairly accurate too, Chris Grant, from that distance.
It's the biggest margin we've had in the game. Hart wants Wren. Look out, because West is lurking. 45 metres out, he goes for home. He's got another one. Dogs are running hot. Mark West, welcome to finals football.
And Malcolm Blood's gone for the phone. He's not happy with what he's seeing, and nor should he be, because the Adelaide Crows are having a lot of trouble clearing it from the kickoff. It hasn't worked particularly well for them. Great punch there back by Darcy. And as we've seen so many times today, that's when the players are unmarked in those situations, because the defensive side has set up a zone.
Well, Mark West, what an impact he's had on this game. He had an impact on Adelaide the previous time they met. He was reported suspended for 2 weeks, but he came back from that suspension and has played 2 finals and has just cracked this wide open since coming on in the second term with 2 goals. 60 plays 34. They've dominated the second part of this second quarter, the Bulldogs. Michael Martin goes long to full forward. McLeod couldn't quite take the mark. Pressure from Cameron. McLeod recovers and gets away. Connell clears the 50. It drops short of Wren, but a clever tap to Kane Johnson. Down the southern stand side to the 50. Well done by Keating. Dishes off the hand pass to Bickley. He centres the ball to Hart.
Courageous mark. That was terrific movement of the ball down the field then by the Adelaide Crows, coming off half back. Intelligent tap over by Sean Wren to Kane Johnson, and Keating just providing the target, and then Bickley with vision, but Hart having to run with the flow of the ball.
So Hart shouldn't have any problems from 35 metres. Oh, he's hit the post. Well, Keating hit the post. You can forgive him.
That's their third poster too.
Lee Matthews?
Yes, I think Ben Hart, he's playing on Darcy, and when Wine drops back and Darcy does the ruck work, Hart has to get himself into the play, as he did on that occasion. He has to pull clear of the congestion and become a much more attacking player.
So the ball kicked deep outside 50, and we see Darcy with those long arms takes the grab, having a bit of an influence. Luke Darcy. 4 marks for the match. Gets the ball up towards the half-forward line, pushing and shoving. Grant too strong for Caven. Nearly siren time, so a big chance here for the Bulldogs. Out in front, Hudson. That's a great grab. He dropped an easy one in the first quarter, kept the eyes on the ball on that occasion. Kicks the ball wide. He's looking for Cook. He's got him. The siren sounds. James Cook is booted 3. 1 goal in the first term, 2 so far in this second quarter. And when he was drafted in 1990, David Parkin said that Carlton picked him up because he had Royce Hart-like qualities. Well, he'll need them with the pressure. Have a shot after the siren. Going for goal number 4, James Cook. Distance shouldn't be a worry. Usually a thumping kick. Starting to bend back. It's bending back. He's got it. Cook's kick 4. Sensational finish for the Bulldogs. Great way to go in at half-time.
Just look at the way the players are celebrating there. They're all pumped up. Terry Wallace will probably have to try and put a lid on it at half-time. The Adelaide Crows, as we keep saying, you've got to take your chances early on. Sean Hart had a shot at goal, or Ben Hart had a shot at goal, hit the post. That was his 3rd behind. And then the Western Bulldogs, who've had no trouble at all clearing the ball from defence today, took it down 4 marks. They've got the ball inside their 50-metre arc and they're having a shot at goal.
Look at the contrast. The Doggies jogging off their pup. The Crows have got some thinking to do. Can they come back? It's half-time here at the MCG. The Bulldogs, 10-6-66. As Malcolm goes in for the half-time address. He doesn't want this to be his last one of the season. But he's looking down the barrel. Adelaide of 4-11-35. On a cool but sunny spring day like this in Melbourne, you'd be very happy if you were asked to be skipper of the Whitman's lightship, just hovering above the MCG and having a bird's eye view of what is turning out to be a very great struggle for the Adelaide Crows if they are to advance to the grand final. Now, there has been some report of a report, and I noticed Terry Wheeler, back to his best, sprinting out to the umpires. Wheels, what news have you got?
Well, I did get out there, Sandy, yeah, and it has been James Cook who's had his number taken. So, really, girls, that's not a good sign for him going in potentially in next week, because I think you guys are really under the pump here now.
Well, I'd rather one of our guys' numbers been taken and the scoreboard the other way around. But I don't think these fingers can fix that crack in the dike. I think we've got huge problems. Robin's off the ground for the commencement of the 3rd quarter, so no full forward, no centre-half forward. So the Crows are in real strife. Now, if they can't get the first 3 or 4 goals, they're in more strife than
she's
done.
All right, thank you, Curls and Wheels. Here we go. Second half of the MCG of this knockout final. The winner to meet the Saints, who are sitting back watching this. And they won't mind that at all while these two go at it, hammer and tongs. Here's McLeod for the Adelaide Crows. Can he set them alight? Goes up to the half-forward line. What has Malcolm Blight done at half-time? Has he played with his deck of cards? Tim Watson will be keeping an eye on that. Let's see what Wren can do. They need a couple very early on to have any hope of staying in the contest. Up towards full forward. Belted clear. Jarman gets the hand pass. Goodwin gets the snap, but he's away to the right and one behind. Tim?
Yes, Malcolm Blight has shuffled the side around. McLeod, Bond, Johnson and Keating were all on the ball at that first centre bounce, and Smart has gone to full forward. Peter McKenna, what can you tell us?
I think that's good. A good move to put Smart down there. Jamison's gone to full back. I thought their forward line in the first half was far too crowded, whereas when it went into the Bulldogs forward line, Tim, it was very, very open and allowed plenty of space for Cook to lead into.
Smith is told to bring it back into play. It's a flat-looking punt kick. Not really very pretty, and it may favour the Crows. Hart dodging and weaving, twisting and turning. Bond trying to get into the contest with a kick down towards the half-forward line. Connell could have almost been taken high. Play on, however, is the call. Shot out the back door towards Western Wine. Neither can take it. An opportunity for Kane Johnson. Tumbles it back to full forward, and the mark is taken by Nigel Smart.
Well, that's exactly what they wanted Nigel Smart to do, just to be able to get off the mark a little bit quicker than Croft. And they've forced the ball forward, and this is an extremely important kick.
So Nigel Smart hoping to keep the Crow flame alive. He's done it.
Well, it's only early in the second half, but already Malcolm Blight's moves have paid off. They got the ball out of the centre bounce. McLeod cleared the ball from the centre bounce, Bond's already had a touch of the ball, so too has Kane Johnson, and when they went forward, Smart got the ball. So it's only early days yet in this second term, but Malcolm Blight would be happy with what he's already seen.
Tony Modra on crutches, sitting on the bench to start the second half. We won't be seeing Mods back today. Well, the Bulldogs kicked the last 6 goals of the first half after trailing by 7 points. So that breaks their run.
And Wren's decided to take the bandage off his knee.
And Keating going on the ball. West got it out of the middle for the Bulldogs. They hurry it forward to the 50. Hart's back there. He goes to the southern stand side. Costa. Crows have started the second half better. Kick by Costa towards half forward. Punch down, comes to Ellen. Gets the support of Bond. Short to Wren. And Wren takes his second mark. Adelaide fans want 50 and they get it.
Fair enough, John. Yes, no doubt at all. I mean, Wren had taken the mark and then bowled over afterwards. Craig Ellis then certainly late on the scene, unduly delaying play, 50-metre penalty.
And the Western Bulldogs, I think because of all the changes that had been made at half-time, they're a little bit out of sorts at the moments. We see Crediuk and Smart down in the goal square just having a little bit to say to each other.
Meantime, Wren from just a few metres goals. Back come the Crows.
Well, this is just the start they would have hoped for in the second half, the Adelaide Crows. They've taken the ball inside their 50 twice. They've kicked 2 goals, and all of a sudden they've found themselves an avenue to goal with Sean Wren at centre-half forward. Craig Ellis giving away a lot of height there, and if they can direct the play through Sean Wren in the first half, Robran was at centre-half forward, really didn't give them a focal point, but it appears that that has all changed in the early part of the second half.
So we see Crediuk there picking up Goodwin. We thought maybe at half-time the fire in the belly of the Crows had gone out. But we forgot the pilot light was still burning. Keating gives it down to Bond, who pumps the ball back towards centre-half forward. Looking for Cox. Over the top was Ellis. Tumbles the kick back inside the centre square. Coming out hard. Trying to meet the ball was Orman Allen. They pile on top. And they'll ball it up on the edge of the square. 66 plays, 48.
Once again, Bond getting the ball out of the centre, so the Adelaide players are winning those very vital centre bounce clearances.
So Darcy against Keating, got his hands on the ball. Bulldogs trying to force it forward. West, Mark West, was held. Came on the ground that second quarter, booted a couple of goals. A couple of seasons with Brisbane, couldn't get a senior game, went and played footy in Cairns, then to South Adelaide, making his mark here on the G. The high flag, Grant's got it! Not paid! It wasn't paid on the way down, it just hit the ground. He just couldn't hang on to it. Let's have a look at this, Tim, because he nearly got it on the way down.
Oh, it's spectacular stuff, isn't it? Oh.
So a ball up, just 15 metres out from goal. Hart kicks to the open spaces. He's happy to see it tumble over the line.
Chris Grant very unfortunate there, but if the ball is dislodged as he hits the ground, then the mark would normally be paid. But we see it here where Chris Grant takes the first grab, sort of gets a hand on it the second time, then it bounces off the ground there, then he grabs it again. So certainly not a mark.
But certainly one of the flyers of the season. Here's West pumping the Dogs forward again. Can they answer? Cook is caught. Could almost lose the ball. Connell gets the hand pass away to Bickley, and Bickley steadies the Crows, kicking back towards centre wing. Clean bowls a couple. McLeod's a chance. Livers almost got him. Bubba Smith is there as well. Costa, coat hanger, and he's going to get the free kick.
And Sandy, just looking down the ground, Scotty Wind has now gone down to pick up Sean Hart, and Craig Ellis is the loose player in defence.
Costa plays on quickly. McLeod chips up towards the half-forward line, and Bond takes the mark. Comes into half-forward, and Matty Connell. Still a long way from home. Too far for Connell. He's 60 metres out. So he just pops it across to Sampson, who, if anything, is a little further out.
Well, the Western Bulldogs are making it difficult for them. They're playing a zone defence, just covering space.
So Sampson unloads with a long kick and no one at home. The uncontested mark taken by Steve Crediot. Goes from the back pocket. Low towards half-back. Aaron Keating. Oh, the big man takes on a couple. He played on. And eventually his hand pass under pressure goes over the line.
I really believe that the Adelaide Crows have to send another player forward. They can't allow Ellis to just be that spare man back then. Make him honest. Send someone down there so that he's actually going to have to mind a man.
Wind couldn't take it cleanly. Neither could Connell. Sock it off the ground towards Liberatore. That's a fantastic trap. Now Johnson tries to paddle it away from Scotty West, but Scotty West has been one of the players of the day today. Wide towards Michael Martin. He's under pressure. West goes again over the line.
It's important for the Adelaide Crows to actually kick goals. They're dominating play at the moment, as we see what Lee Matthews is. Sorry, no, Lee Matthews is not quite ready for us at the minute.
66-48. Just 3 goals the margin now. And the Crows have hit back in this third quarter. Bond shares the ball with Orman Allen. He gains some ground, but out of bounds at right half forward. Now, Lee Matthews.
Yeah, further that point Tim's been mentioned, we can see here that Wind is now picking up Wren, and Ellis is back here as the spare player. Now, Ben Hart is the player who's Darcy is against when Darcy's v Keating. Hart is this player that has to get up here to make this better for the Crows.
Now the Crows are inside centre half forward. A little hand pass comes out from Ellen to McLeod. Set shot. Bounces to the goal square. Offline. And he could have done better than that. Kicks just a behind, but they're inside 3 goals. Deficit now. 17 points the difference. And what looked like pretty much one-way traffic to half-time has turned around, KB.
Yes, this is a good opening in this third term for the Crows. Sampson's off the ground. Rintoul's on. Rowan Smith out of defence for the Bulldogs, a ball carrier. Oh. West does the shepherding and thumps the opponent into the ground. It's been marked. Grant's got it. That was Rintoul that went to ground. West's been shaken.
West is making a few of the Bulldogs walk taller.
Back inside the centre square, finds Scott West. Onto this trusty left boot. He's looking for Darcy. He's got it. Would have got the free kick as well. Darcy from the edge of the centre square tries to pinpoint it. Didn't come off. Good mark by Tyson Edwards. Beats Hudson on that occasion. You can see in the window where it's being looked at is Chad Rintoul. The ball's in the forward pocket. Johnson thumps the ball on. Jamison's been moved to full-back after kicking 2 goals in the first half and takes it over. There's Rintoul. Have a look at this. Bang. So a chance for the Bulldogs. Just 20 metres around from goal. Keating got his hands on the ball. Hart shoveled the ball out, gives it across to Connell. Pumps the ball back out of danger. Back to the centre wing. Cox is there, gets the fist to the ball, thumps away at ground level. Here comes Libber. Bickley's going to get there first, the skipper. Great tackle by Grant. It's a loose ball. McLeod's under pressure. Chipping in is Allen. Fancy footwork, gets it back here to Caven. Comes away from half-back, kicks up towards the half-forward line. Running with the flight is Wren. He's got Wine to beat. The skipper goes to the ground. Was he caught high by Costa? No, says the umpire. Spills out. Under pressure. Smith thought he had it, lost it from Cox. Working back. Cox comes again. Goes short. The Bulldogs now. Cameron goes to ground. It's fierce and ferocious at the G in the centre of the ground. West comes through. Goes back to the half-forward line. Out in front. He's got it. The captain. Cook. He's booted 4 goals, including one after the siren at half-time, and he's been reported.
100%. 4 kicks, 4 goals.
And one of the problems the Crows have at the moment in pushing those players up on the ball, such as McLeod and Bond, is that they don't play a lot of midfield play, and therefore they don't have the fitness both forward and back. And on that occasion, the Western Bulldogs took the ball forward, and there was a lot of unchecked players when they had the ball.
Let's go to Lee Matthews with video analysis.
Just before Cook has this kick, there's a boundary throw in the Bulldogs forward line. Now here's Ben Hart just here. Now he ends up getting the hand pass, but his opponent, he's got to be out here somewhere in a much more attacking position to make Darcy pay for doing the ruck work against him.
So Cook rams it through.
Well, that's just efficiency at its best by James Cook. the way the Western Bulldogs worked the ball forward there, they changed direction. They went from one side of the ground to the other, just looking for space, and once again it was the running of West, and that's his 21st possession for the game. So the Adelaide side are really going to have to just slow him down this second half.
Good steadying goal by the Bulldogs after a frantic passage of play. Keating does the ruck work and wins it down to Goodwin. Off he goes to McLeod, down towards the half-forward line. Bond takes the diving mark. Six kicks, 4 hand passes to Troy Bond. Kicking on a 45-degree angle from 52 metres, and he's a good kick usually. But this time away to the left. Certainly no problem with distance, and one behind.
Peter McKenna, how did you see that approach to goal then by Bond?
Well, he actually ran right out to the right and tried to hook it in instead of running in a straight line, and that's why he actually hooked the ball in the finish.
Smith to bring it back into play for the Bulldogs. Got one earlier, and again, it's a dangerous kick back into play. Scotty West is going to have to work awfully hard at the bottom of the pack. Wren had it and almost threw it away. A chance for maybe for Nigel Smart. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw McLeod. McLeod snapped from 40 metres, and the Crows again hang on. Andrew McLeod gives the convention centre cause for some celebration as he gets their 7th.
Well, the Crows really did have to find themselves a midfielder at half-time, and they've found one in McLeod. He's had half a dozen possessions in this third term. On that occasion, just getting on the end of a very clever handball by Nigel Smart.
Well, Nigel Smart has made a difference since he went forward for the Crows. He set up that goal for McLeod. Wind to West. Inside 50. Bounces off Edwards to Connell. Bit of space for Connell. He comes out wide, puts the ball out in front. Bickley's had a dark day. Back to Tyson Edwards. Jarman, quiet. Costa up ahead of the play. Another goal to make it pretty interesting. Kim Costa down towards the forward pocket. And the ball knocked out by Curley. And we'll have a throw in. Jose Romero, we thought he was gone for the day. And he's back.
That's a big comeback.
Iron Man, Jose.
Just telling Andrew McLeod how he's done it.
We thought he was gone after the game against Sydney, and he came back remarkably. Thought he was gone again with the same shoulder. Smith, hand pass, Johnson. They've combined beautifully all season. He kicks to an open paddock. Get Gray's cows out there. McLeod with great pace. Up towards the 50. Past Smith it goes. Tap down to Ellen. Smart. Oh, his arms were taken. No whistle on the play, and the Bulldogs get out of it.
Dent. Handball's back. Danger here for the Bulldogs. Croft able to push off in that last line of defence. Gets it back to Dent, who comes away. He's got the loose player in West, who's been a star since he's come off the bench. Half-back flank. West pumps the ball back. He's looking for Darcy. It's a great kick. 72 plays 56. A 16-point ball game. The Bulldogs in front. Back to the centre square. Rowan Smith.
So they're not afraid to square the ball up, are they, the Western Bulldogs?
The Crows have come out hard in this third term. They're laying it on the line to the Bulldogs. Smith's got the loose player wide. It's Libber. They couldn't see him. He's standing next to a tall blade of grass. Kicks the ball down. Johnson's got it. So Brad Johnson from 55 metres out. He's played every game this year. Hasn't missed a game for the past 2 seasons. One of the young guns pumps the ball to the square, so it's a chance for the high flies. Grant's got it. Not played. Yes, it is. I thought he had it, Timmy.
Yes, I did too. And I actually thought, as Brad Johnson kicked that ball, KB, he actually pulled his kick. It was almost like the players down the ground knew exactly where the ball was going to go. Just watch this. Darcy holds the players, pretends he's going for the ball. And that's probably good enough for a mark.
Oh, certainly is, Tim. A firm grab like Chris Grant had then, and then spills out after the contact. No doubt that's a mark.
And is what Darcy did legal?
Chris Grant.
Play on. I wouldn't have had a problem with what Darcy did.
This is where Ben Hart missed one in the second term. Grant from 30 metres out. Bangs it through.
That's an important goal for the Western Bulldogs because the Adelaide Crows have been on top in general play in this third term. What they haven't been able to do is take the most and make the most of their opportunities and kick goals. As we watch this again, there's Grant. And, well, that's technically a mark, as our umpire in the box, John Rosso, has already explained.
Two goals to Chris Grant. And again, the Bulldogs assume some control. Keating tries to win it out of the centre. Crows can't afford to let them get another one. West bustling in there once again, so too Aaron Keating. The West boys are in there, Mark and Scotty.
And Libba was behind another blade of grass.
Both have been fantastic today, the Wests. 78 plays a 56 again. Keating does well, or Scotty West runs into Costa. Smith tries to get clear. Jarman applies a solid tackle. Ball spills free to Mark West. West looks up towards the right half-forward area, and Grant is there. Chris Grant still a long way out. The Doggies have got a bit of a sniff. He looks towards Darcy and co. Oh, the back. He's going to kick another one, the captain. James Cook, this is your day. 6 goals. And now catch us if you can, say the Doggies. To our video analyst, Lee Matthews.
Just worth pointing out, this is the situation before the Johnson up here kicked the ball into Grand here, but have a look at all this space in this part of the ground that's open. Up the other end, whenever the Crows are going forward, Bulldogs are getting players back into this part of the ground here to make sure it is all blocked up.
I tell you what, it's been a 24 hours for rejects, hasn't it? Last night, Jason Heatley, 7 goals. Tonight, ex-Carlton player, or today, ex-Carlton player James Cook already with 6.
Wind wins in the middle. Liberatore tackled high. He plays on quickly towards the 50. Down goes Darcy. And a chance for Hart to clear. Oh, a collision. Mark West has gone in like a missile again. He's got Caven. And Caven will take the free kick. Umpire speaking to West. He was rubbed out in the previous game against Adelaide, and he's going very hard here today. Whack!
I think Brady Allen's paying the free kick where the ball was at the time rather than where the incident occurred.
And Caven will come up and kick closer to the man on the mark. Scott West having something to say. Jarman having something to say.
I mean, that was just reckless, really, wasn't it? He could have taken him with a forearm. He didn't in the end, just brushing his arm across his face.
Gee.
Caven making it look worse than what it was.
On the verge of a grand final, though.
And as if Caven needed that after his little run-in with Tony Lockett a few years ago. Johnson kicks to half-forward. Keating's presented himself. West, been magnificent, Scott West, today. To half-forward. What an open forward line. Oh, if Cameron had gathered then, it could have been anything. Play on, says the umpire. Ball flipped out by Bickley. Johnson. Now Rintoul having been mopped up after going off with the blood rule, and Ellen has it on centre wing.
So the Bulldogs by 28 points. Allen made 11 games for Footscray. Make that the Western Bulldogs, including a final in 95. Trying to make his mark. Here's a chance. Sampson on the burst. It's a great kick. He's got it.
Bit like his goal against Diller.
Well, that's an important goal against the flow of play. I was just looking down the other end of the ground as this goal was kicked. Orman Allen's gone down now to pick up James Cook. Just a contest. Terrific reading of the ball. And that's a particularly important goal. Sampson's first goal for the day.
So just on 7 minutes remaining Malcolm Blight still concerned. 84 plays 62. Back to a 22-point margin. Bond, a rainmaker. To the outer side, floating high. They need another couple if they're going to have any chance in the final quarter. Young Kane Johnson propels them forward, gives the hand pass away. Here's the opportunity for Costa. He's on the end of it, centering in towards half forward. Again, the Dogs should be able to tidy up, heading towards the boundary line. Leading in the charge as Matthew Dent kicked a goal in the first quarter. Now Cox steadies, looks towards centre wing. Coming over the top was Grant. Keating comes in from the side, and it's going to go the way of Trent Ormond-Allen, who was playing in front. Pops it down to Bond. Centering kick again, finds Johnson. He plays on. Didn't see someone coming from the side. They lose it in towards half forward. And again, the timely mark is taken by Matthew Dent.
Good pressure there by the Western Bulldogs, just forcing the Adelaide Crows into mistakes.
Dent comes across the ground to Scotty Wine. He waits for players to make position downfield. Well, Wren should mark this, but have a look at that program. Craig Ellis, and now Scotty West. West goes down towards left half forward. Starting to roll now with the Bulldogs as Brett Montgomery looks inside 50. Wants a mark from the captain, maybe. He's there, but he couldn't take it cleanly. Here's the youngster in brown. Scotty West caught from behind. Loses it. Tyson Edwards gets the hand pass to Hart, and Hart drifts it in towards the centre. Again, finding Johnson.
Sweeps the hand pass wide to Peter Caven. From just behind the wing to the 50. Comes off to Sampson. He's kicked one off the right. Now how about the left? This one out of bounds on the full.
Well, that's how they're going to get their goals at the moment, because they're really struggling to take the ball forward with any surety.
Magnificent leap by Craig Ellis, and brought it down cleanly all the way.
Well, he spends all week in an aeroplane. He spent all Saturday afternoon in the air, hasn't he?
Yeah, needs an oxygen mask then.
Just more frequent flyer points.
Kick by Cox to centre wing. Hart trying to keep it in. The Crows need to keep the ball active, but over the line it goes. And the Bulldogs lead 84 to 62. Just under 5 minutes remaining to three-quarter time.
Bulldogs led by 31 points at half-time. Lead now by 22 points. Hart over the top, backhands it. Croft tried to crash his way through, some strong arm tactics.
Incorrect disposal, KB.
So the free kick is coming back. Goes to Smart. It's on centre wing. Starting defence, moved up into the forward line. Smart gets it across to Johnson outside of 50. So it's one for the goal square. Jarman's got a chance. Off hands, through for a minor score.
Well, they've taken inside their 50 metres almost twice as many times as the Western Bulldogs in this third quarter, but they really just haven't been rewarded with their kicking at goal.
Terry Wallace still looking calm and composed, though the heart must be skipping a beat. The Bulldogs last played in a grand final back in 1961, beaten by Hawthorn. Their only premiership came in 1954. Kicks wide, there's the high flyer out, taken by Cox. Virtually just handed across to West, who kicks down towards young Nathan Brown's got it. Spent a lot of time on the interchange bench. Goes short, he's looking for Libba. Under pressure, Caven came out, couldn't get his boot to the ball. McLeod mops up, just pumps the ball back towards West, and there's a great one-hander taken by Allen.
Shane Allen's on centre wing. Under 4 minutes left in this term. Crows want a couple of quick goals. Jarman in that pack's had it just the 5 kicks for the day, and it's taken over the line.
That's the problem, Sandy. If they take too long to get the ball into their forward line, they don't square the ball up, then they're just kicking to a sea of Western Bulldogs players who are dropping off their man and just guarding, as we see here, 3 against Darren Jarman.
Well, he copped one in the head earlier and appears to have copped another one there. Here's Ben Hart snapping in towards goal, and on the last line of defence is Scotty West. Bolts beautifully and brings it out now. Oh, they can set something up. Johnson's away. Go back and get it. Plenty of time. Allowed to run through half back. and look up towards half-forward as Jarman receives attention. Darcy goes on with the job. They've got the loose man, and the youngster's going to have a shot just inside 50. Nathan Brown kicked one in the second term. He wastes no time. He goes bang with the left foot in towards the square. Pack of four. Cook is one of them. Got possession now. Off he goes to Jose. He's crunched to the ground. And it's Mark is going to be paid. Yes, on the last line of defence to Tyson Edwards. Edwards heads to the outer side. He's got the running captain in Mark Bickley from half back. He looks towards centre wing. Time ticking away for the Adelaide Crows as Clay Sampson takes it.
Well, Jose Romero is a man of steel. He just got crunched again and straight up and didn't even show any ill effects. Ball's out of bounds at half forward for the Crows. Now, our video man, Lee Matthews.
Just very quickly, this McLeod-Romero duels have been intriguing. We see the pair of them here. Just at this second, Nigel Smart has got a free kick. Romero immediately runs a few metres defensive side, so he's got McLeod's speed covered as the ball comes forward. A very intriguing duel between those two. Romero doing a terrific job.
We're back live, and you've hardly missed anything. It's probably going to go out of bounds again. It does, and about the same spot for another throw-in. The three games these teams have played this year had a remarkable similarity. In the first time they met, Adelaide won by 50, even though the teams had equal scoring shots. Second time, Dogs won by 43, even though the losers had more scoring shots. Today, Adelaide have had more scoring shots, but they're behind on the scoreboard by a clear margin. Ellis brings it up to the centre of the ground. Bickley puts on a good spoil. He needs to regain the crumbs, but guess who gets them? Liberatore. Grant is there, tries to hook the ball up the ground. Jamison goes to ground. And there'll be a ball up on the logo. So the scores between the teams this year, 19-7 to 9-17 the first time, 16-7 to 17-18 the second time, and this time Bulldogs accurate 13-6 to 8-15.
Bulldogs by 21 points. Liberatore pumps the ball back towards centre half forward. West, he's got the bounce, the kind bounce he wanted. Great tackle by Bickley. Loose ball. Comes back to Nathan Brown. Around the corner. He kicked it to space. Here comes Cook. Spoils with Romero. The loose ball. Picking up the spoils was McLeod. It's a great kick. He finds Hart. He can go over the top. They've set up the loose player. Finds Bond. To half forward line. Looking for Wren. Good play by Wine. The skipper got his body in line. Finally forced over, and they'll toss it in, or is it on the full? It's come off, and the free kick will go to Wren.
Touched on the way out of bounds, so it'll be thrown in.
Thought just might have gone out on the full. So there's Wren racing back to do this ruck contest with Wine. Allen over the top at ground level. Johnson had it, then lost it. Cox goes to ground. Hard over the top. Smart. Off target. It's out on the full.
So inside the last minute of this third term, and the Bulldogs are setting it up for a grand final tilt at St Kilda. And if you'd said that at the start of the year, many would have suggested you should be put away for a spell for some considerable time. But it is going to happen unless the Crows can produce something extraordinary in the final term. Dent's hand pass a little proppy to West, but he's okay. He steadies it now. Here's Bubba Smith running. Smith's away. Celebrate the last minute with a long bomb. And it's marked right on the line. The umpire is conferring with the goal umpire.
The goal umpire tapped his chest, so he believes it's his. So, no, but Greg Scroop is overruling him. The goal umpire certainly tapped his chest, indicating that it was his ball rather than a mark.
Well, you can see that he can just see daylight.
And James Cook kicked the goal on the half-time siren.
And he's going to have to do it again. Well, he's on the wrong side of the boundary line. Deja vu. What drama.
He can't run out now, can he?
No, it makes it a lot tougher now.
He's
because
just got to have a set shot on that line.
if he was to run out, that would be the end of the ball game.
Yeah, that's right. Would have played on. Here he goes. Well, he's still having a fantastic day. 6 goals.
I wouldn't mind seeing this mark again over the line. It appeared that he did take the ball.
Look, regardless of what we think, Tim, the goal umpire is the only person in the correct position. It's a big call for a field umpire to overrule that. He's the only guy straddling the line. He's the only guy that can determine whether James Cook took the mark in the field of play or beyond the field of play.
And there was no hesitation in the goal umpire's mind either. His hand immediately went to his chest to signal that it was a behind.
That's right.
We have the benefit of having a look at that. It was a photo finish, but it stands. The mark stands, the behind stands, and at 3/4 time, the Western Bulldogs lead here at the MCG, 13-7, 85. Adelaide, 8-15, 63.
Malcolm Blight had a very strong, passionate talk to the players, and they're going to give it a go. It's a big task, but if they get the first 3, they're in with a real chance. It's pretty easy to get 3 goals.
No. Second chance, second efforts for the Bulldogs. Watch that, Sandy. That was the main point from Terry Wallace.
Terry Wheeler and the optimist, D.N. Curley. Here we go, the final quarter, this to decide who will meet St Kilda in the 97 grand final. Johnson overruns it, but he's quick to go back and lock it up.
And fascinating to look downfield at that centre bounce, Sandy, and see the Western Bulldogs. Dent dropped off his man. Sampson went out wide. Dent dropped off him and just guarded the dangerous area in the forward zone, as well as one of the other Bulldog defenders. So they obviously know where the Crows will attack if they go forward.
Bounce from Brian Sheehan, favourable for Keating, taken by Bond. Round his shoulder, up towards Wren, and marks between centre and half forward. Must kick the first couple, as Curl said. Off to Kane Johnson, who was busy in the 3rd quarter. That is a very, very disappointing kick, though. Straight onto the chest of Craig Ellis, and he will clear to Scotty West, one of the best players on the ground.
Darren Jarman's gone to full forward for the Crows and not happy with the delivery then. It gave him no chance. Johnson. Magnificent year for the Bulldogs. He wore the red, white and blue in the Little League going way back when he was a kid. Followed them all his life. Grant tries a big mark in the pack. Comes down to Edwards. And straight away he's given it up to the defence. And Ellis is just having a picnic back there playing loose man. Ellis goes short. And Johnson again. Well, they're keeping the football at the moment. So Curls, it's going to be difficult for the Crows to get the first 3 goals if they can't get the footy.
Yeah, you're dead right.
Robran watching. Modra also off the ground, so full forward and centre half forward missing for the Crows for the bulk of the game. Another big attempted mark by Grant. Lightning hand pass comes to Bond. Round the boundary line he goes. And the Bulldogs have the numbers in defence once more. Johnson couldn't take the mark. Comes to Montgomery. He pumps it to 50. McLeod gets a fingernail to it. Jamison beaten for the ball. Romero, the man of steel. Oh, poster, Jose. And he had James Cook in the goal square, 30 metres on his own.
One of the problems there, though, Drew, is the fact that you're actually looking into the sun in this last quarter, heading that way, so you obviously can't always pick up the players who are free down the field.
Have you got a report on Tony Modra?
Yeah, I certainly have, and it's not good. Tony said he felt it snap, so it's, I'd say, a knee reconstruction.
Season. Free kick has been paid here to Chris Grant. Forensic experts have also tested the apple. It's got the fingerprints of Neil Curley on it. Gives it across to Mars West, who pumps the ball back inside 50, playing in front. He's got it. Cook. Well, he's booted 6. It's taken an apple for him to miss his 7th. He's directly in front.
It's like working with an orchardist.
Well, this has been a tremendous comeback by Cook. Halfway through this season, he was thinking of giving it away. His career's been resurrected by Terry Wallace. Started with Carlton. It's number 2 draft pick. And a chance now to cover himself in glory. James Cook going for goal number 7. It's missed.
Lee Matthews, our video analyst.
Just quickly, Tim mentioned Ramiro. We see Ramiro here with the ball, and as he goes forward, He kicks it over the head of Cook, who's up here, and but he was kicked into the shadow, as Tim said.
Here's Jamison pinpointing Costa. Spent time at South Adelaide in the Sandful and of course Footscray before finding his home with the Crows. This is Luke Darcy pumping it back into the attacking zone. Dogs have got the numbers. Socket off the ground, but only for one behind by Brett Montgomery. 13-10 plays 8-15. Hudson on the sidelines. Kicked a valuable goal in the second quarter, his 27th for the season. And Jamison again pulls that kick onto the chest of Costa. We'll look up towards centre wing. Up towards Keating, Hart and Co. The big man's in the pack. He's got to make ground because Darcy's well in front. Keating was going with Wine. Darcy's got a couple of options in the middle. Scotty West almost on a collision course there with Simon Cox. He's been marvellous, Scott West, today. One of the best, and is only disappointed with that delivery. Into the arms of McLeod at halfback. He's got to go back and pick over his mark. So precious seconds ticking away. And with delivery like that, the Crows are not going to score. They're not going to get it in that attacking zone. Mark West propels it deep in towards half forward once again. Oh, the youngster had it spent a little too soon. And the umpire will come in for a bounce. Brown, I thought, was going to be away. And so too did he. And that youngster looks on, wondering what the Dogs can do next week when they take on St Kilda. The Bulldog chant goes up. Keating gets it away to Jamison. He goes to the outer side. West is there. And he's quite happy to see it over the line. A crowd today of 70,088. So that is two fantastic days of football. A night game, of course, with 75,500, and now just over 70,000 today.
Darcy works to the back. He's taken the most marks on the ground today. Luke Darcy, he's taken 10. Now, as we saw last night with the Saints, Tim, at this stage in the last quarter, the week's break, vital to the Bulldogs?
I think it makes a difference, yeah, I certainly do think it makes a difference. And the Adelaide Crows, they just haven't been able to give themselves any real drive and run from half back. And that's made it difficult for them to set up any constructive play going forward.
Norman Allen to Ben Hart. Nice old don't argue. Hart will take his kick. In between half-back flank and the wing. Not a great kick. Good pick up by Connell on the half volley. To the 50. Smart. And Ellis has crunched a couple late. And he's just roaming around without an opponent and dishing out some bruises. Now, Bulldogs have managed just 3 behinds to start this quarter. Crows haven't scored. A goal will be pretty handy. Didn't make it. And rushed through for a minor score. Tony Modra, certainly his season's over, and from what we hear, probably next season as well. Lee?
Just very quickly, I've been harping on this all day. We see this ruck work. This is Ben Hart. He has to be up in an attacking position here, otherwise it just doesn't work, and he's just not done, hasn't done it all day.
Bulldogs by 24 points. Mark West kicks down towards the half-forward line. A poor kick taken by Caven. Just tries to chip it. It was a shocker. Taken by Johnson. He sets it up, needing the kind bounce was Montgomery. 40 metres out, feeds the ball off the ground. Great tackle by Caven. Loose ball. Cleaning up is Bickley, the skipper. Kicks wide, finds Connell. He's taken 9 marks. Half-back flank. 24 points. The Bulldogs lead. Still a big chance for the Crows. Jamison kicked a couple of goals when playing up forward. Now in defence. Goes wide, back to Caven. So a bit of run out of defence. Sets it up. He's got the loose player. Tyson Edwards. Time for think music. Edwards to the half-forward line. It's a beautiful kick. He's looking for Keating. Has the ball thumped away. Ellis swooped on it. Tumbles the ball back under pressure. Needing the bounce was Edwards. Didn't get it. Brown tried to tap it down, kicked off the ground, but the free kick is going to be paid. They'll come back here to Tyson Edwards.
And just a moment ago, we saw probably one of the most positive moves forward by the Crows all day, where they actually changed direction of the ball and then took the ball down the opposite side to where all the players had actually lined up, so there was a bit of space to operate in.
Chad Rintoul about to come onto the ground. Kane Johnson about to go for goal. And missed to the left. Rintoul on. Hudson also preparing to come back.
Players from both sides looking tired now. It's been a fairly warm afternoon here.
Of course, injuries took their toll on a number of players early. The youngster Nathan Brown is the player coming off for the Western Bulldogs. Hudson on. Kretiuk gives the hand pass away. Croft sweeps it even wider. An opportunity now for the Bulldogs to go forward through Mark West. And he just pushes it. Disappointing kick, really, out of bounds on the full. There's Jose Romero. What a week it's been. Well, what a fortnight, in fact, it's been for Jose Romero. At one stage, down and out, in tears. Then back and gone again early today, and back again. Incredible. Johnson into the centre to Rintoul. Chad Rintoul looks with a long bomb down towards Jarman. He's the meat in the sandwich. He's got to beat a couple. Curley heads for the boundary line. A point is conceded.
Well, the problem there, Sandy, is they're kicking the ball forward and they're kicking to 2-on-1. I really believe Malcolm Blight has to send another player down there and make Ellis honest.
On the boundary line, Curls.
Yeah, it's amazing sometimes, footy. I reckon the Crows have had at least 55% of the play, maybe more, and yet they just can't score the goals.
Yes, 3 behinds each in this last quarter. We've gone nearly 11 minutes without a goal. Wren flies, can't mark. Ball out of play.
Push in the back post. Brian Sheen actually behind the contest there, so it was a bit of a guess.
Scotty West, he's had plenty of the ball today. He's about to take his 29th possession, and he's been busy across the midfield all day.
Yes, battles of midfield so important today, and the Bulldogs have certainly been on top in that area. Kick by West. Off hands to Mark West. Chance for Cook. Jamison the spoil, and the ball out of bounds again. So we're still looking for our first goal in this last quarter, but it's looking more and more likely that the Bulldogs will survive and go through and meet the Saints next week. And what a grand final that would be. Two teams not really used to the last Saturday in September, KB.
Still a long way to go in this game, Drew. Quick snap.
Libba.
Tony Liberatore celebrates a point.
Well, what will he do when they get a goal?
Look at Libba. He was like the conductor there for the crowd behind the goals.
Great theatre.
Hey, boys, I've got him behind.
Jamison to bring the ball back. 89 plays 66. Bickley from the back pocket to Tyson Edwards. Still got plenty of run in the legs. Goes short, looking for Keating. Good spoil by Ellis at ground level. Rintoul picking up a couple of quick possessions this last turn. McLeod, quick hands to Smart. Did well. Some fancy footwork. Shades of Baryshnikov in the MCG. Pumps it high back towards centre half forward. It's one for the Brave. Hart. Back to Johnson. Puts it over the line.
Good pressure then by Kretiuk. Just enough to force the kick wide. And the Crows just starting to get themselves a little bit of run through the midfield. That's exactly what they want Smart to do, just to take the players on in that part of the ground and just open up a bit of space.
There's Smart, the high flyer.
10.5 minutes remaining. Still time if they can get a mighty wriggle on. Smart goes short. Seconds tick away. Goodwin, a long way from home. The left footer booms one in towards the big guns, and Jarman rises above the pack with skill and grace that only he possesses.
And against the odds then too, Sandy, there was still about 3 Western Bulldogs players that contested this to the 2 Adelaide Crows, and perhaps some of the players just losing the ball in the sun.
So this for his 200th career goal and his second for the day, but more importantly to keep the Crows in touch, to give them some faint hope. To the Jarman, both from that end of the ground.
Look, they're not out of it, the Adelaide Crows.
No.
KB said a moment ago they were still very much in this game, and they are. I just sense that the Western Bulldogs have just begun to tire a little bit in the centre part of the game, in the ground. And if the Adelaide Crows can get the ball away from this centre bounce clearance, get it into their forward line quickly, because that's where they're going to hurt the Western Bulldogs most, because they can't set up their zone.
Terry Wallace takes a quick peek at the scoreboard and finds it's less than 3 kicks the difference. The first goal of this last term took a long time coming. Ball held in. The centre wicket area has recovered beautifully after the rain last night. And the Western Bulldogs' last goal, 19 minutes into the third quarter. We're now nearly 15 minutes into the last quarter. So that's not really scoring like a winner. And the Crows are in touch. Liberatore spirals one high to half forward. Montgomery gets a touch. Romero puts his shoulder under further pressure.
So that was good play then by McLeod just to tie the ball up, because if that ball had been just shaken free, then there would have been a couple of Western Bulldogs there ready to pounce, as we see them making a change. Montgomery coming off and Martin coming on.
Well, if the Crows can get the next one, we might have a grandstand finish here for the visitors and those watching over in Adelaide. But a basketball goes on. And Wren's pretty good at basketball.
Hell.
Free kick to McLeod. Open down the centre corridor for Bickley. He goes long. Jarman's at full forward. He jumps and Darren Jarman, the meat in the sandwich. And how high did he get? Well, let's hope he can cap that off with a goal. His second in this last quarter. Floats it to the right. What a disappointment.
Well, Peter McKenna, you watched that kick. What can you tell us from your vantage point?
Well, I think he tried to guide it to me, but as I said earlier in the game, I think this move should have been made early. When he wasn't doing well, he should have been moved to the forward line. Great mark, but he tried to just stab it instead of kicking through the ball, Tim. But I thought Jarman wasn't doing well early. Should have been moved to the forward line very early in the game.
Bulldogs by 16 points, no doubt. He didn't follow through with that kick. Curley on the half-back flank. The Crows are coming hard. Never say die.
And missed kicks can sap the energy of the players up field too.
Wren sets himself in front. Knocked on by Wine, taken by Bickley. Wonderful handball to Connell on the edge of the centre square. Jarman again is the target. Couldn't take it. He looked like he might have been held. No free kick. Chance for Smart. A fumble. He's got it. Smart kicks a goal. Here come the Crows.
Well, the Crows are now starting to take advantage of actually shifting the ball sideways before they go forward. All day they've just been throwing the ball on their boot, just trying to get it downfield. Now they're looking inboard, getting across the centre. Just watch this push by Smart. I thought that perhaps that may have been a free kick, but they'll take it, the Adelaide Crows, and now they are on a roll.
Who said the Crows were dead and buried? They know there's no tomorrow. There's just 10 points in it. Sean Wren tries to get a mighty belt at it, but it's picked up by Scotty West. Spirals it high to the outer side. Tyson Edwards gives chase. First to the ball. Next goal could decide the fate of this game. Matty Connell's got a chance to run. And run. And run he does. In towards Jarman. He's inside 50. Goes short. Propping it up towards Goodwin.
He's on the left foot too.
Yeah.
He'll be kicking with his left foot in at the goal.
Good position for him. Well, what a finish.
Tim, it looks like the Crows have got a bit more run at the moment, which is surprising.
The momentum has gone with them now, and they are starting to gain a lot of possessions in the midfield, and the Western Bulldogs are going to have to stem this flow.
Simon Goodwin, in just his 9th senior game with the Crows, can cover himself in glory, and he has. What a finish here at the MCG. 4 points the margin.
Well, for 3/4 of this game, they kicked inaccurately. Now they're starting to kick the 6-pointers, but they're also starting to free players up, and wherever the contest appears around the ground, we're seeing the Adelaide Crows getting there in numbers. What the Western Bulldogs need now is someone like a Chris Grant to stand up and be counted. He's going to charge into the midsection and gain the ball.
In this quarter, the Crows have kicked 3-4 and the Bulldogs just 4 behind. Wine wins in the middle. Mark West has pulled off his kick with a magnificent tackle by Smart. Bickley, one kick and put him in front. Jarman! Dent hit him pretty hard. Dent did well. And Cox works it out of defence to Martin. Behind right half back. The Bulldogs under pressure now to hang on and win. Chris Grant getting back in the defensive side of centre to take a mark for the Bulldogs.
Jarman thought it was a free kick, Drew.
He might have had some claims too. Kick by Grant to half forward. Sean Wren standing strong. They've won 14 of 18 games since Wren came back. Neil Curley.
I can't ask for anything more in this last half. It's been a fantastic fight back by the Crows.
Bulldogs by 4 points. Connell caught by West. Great tackle. They'll toss it back.
Connell's been good in this last quarter. He's a very fit player, and he's given the Adelaide Crows plenty of runs. Just watch this decision. He was held on to. There's no doubt about that. His jumper was pulled.
And he certainly complained to the umpire about it. The Bulldogs by 4 points. Bang, down goes Martin. The tackling is ferocious now by the Crows. Look at that from Bond. A loose ball. Connell, a fresh air shot. Picking it up is Scott West. A cool hit under pressure. He's caught by Johnson. Fantastic tackling.
Oh,
the adrenaline's pumping. The adrenaline's pumping for the Crows, Tim.
There's no doubt about that. The umpire missed the first free kick. Croft tried to break the tackle.
Bulldogs a bit slacking, picking up opponents now. Bickley playing a major role in this last term. A big bomb. There's a mark to Hart. He's on 50. They trail by 4 points. Jarman says have a ping at him. So Hart missed a sitter in the second quarter. Can he kick one from 50 and put the Crows in front on 50? He's off target. He's pushed it left. A sigh of relief for the Bulldogs fans.
Ben Hart's kicked 4 behinds today.
Jose Ramiro's coming off the ground and Leon Cameron's coming onto the ground. Obviously Terry Wallace concerned that some of his players are starting to look tired. He's got a fresh player now on the ground. Cameron spent a lot of time today on the interchange bench. They need him to get behind the ball and start to set some play up.
Convention Centre rocking in Adelaide at Football Park at the moment. There's plenty of time. 4 minutes and 24 seconds remaining. Nigel Smart.
He's playing a sterling last quarter of football, Nigel Smart. That's his 3rd or 4th mark in this final term.
It's been all one-way traffic, really. The last 15 minutes have been all Crows. 75 metres out. Let's go. Tries to get onto a talk. Doesn't quite, but it's centred in towards full forward. Ellen was one of the flyers. Couldn't take the mark. Pressure once again on the Bulldogs' defence. The kick comes wide. Almost out towards centre wing. Goodwin should be able to, Bickley should be able to keep it in play. And he does to Chad Rintoul. Rintoul, a little chip. Crows running everywhere. Shane Ellen, still a long way out. 75 metres. Got to get over a wall of players.
And they're all looking into the sun too, Sandy, all the Adelaide Crows forwards players.
Allen, good-looking kick. They're all there. No one waiting down to do the roving. It was left to Sean Wren. Suddenly a snap by Hart. Hart pulls it away to the right. Another behind. That's 5 behinds to that young man. And it's 11-21. Playing 13-11. 3 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
And that's the 15th time the Adelaide Crows have taken the ball inside their 50-metre arc in this final quarter to 7 times to the Western Bulldogs.
I think we should remember too that this game cannot be a draw.
Yes, we'll play extra time if the scores are level on the siren. Cameron kicks in. A one-hander by Ellen. Ellen centres. Punch by Dent. Gets it outside 50. It goes past Wren. The Bulldogs look tighter. And pass by Wren. Caven. High ball. Keating is there. Oh, excellent mark by Croft. Hits the ground running. Over the centre. Johnson is there. Hudson. The hand pass to Mark West. A goal might seal it. The shot by West. Offline. And the Crows are still in this. 3 points the margin. 2.5 minutes left.
Why wouldn't Shane Allen have a shot from that kick out after taking the mark? I mean, it was silly play. Jamison goes short. He finds Hart. He's kicked 5 behinds, but he's been a mighty player. Kicks the ball out wide. It's a one-on-one duel. It's a free kick there to Bickley for mine. And he's got it. He was hailed on to.
And they're just
in fact, that's Goodwin.
They're starting to win the one-on-one battles, KB.
So Goodwin's got it on centre wing. Goes short. Finds Johnson. He's got it, Jarman. Mr. Magic's got it. They trail by 2 points. Look at the Convention Centre in Adelaide. 90 plays 87. The Crows trailed by 31 points at half-time. They trailed by 22 points at three-quarter time. And if Jarman kicks this, his 3rd goal, they'll be in front. Under 2 minutes left. Darren Jarman. The spotlight is on him. 35 metres out. The Crows are in front.
Well, just look at the Convention Centre. Look at the Adelaide supporters. Look at Tony Mudrow. There's a smile on his face. And that's the first time we've seen that today. The Adelaide Crows, certainly the momentum is going with them now. And it's going to take a mighty effort for the Western Bulldogs to turn this around. All of a sudden, they're starting to get the ball into their forward line. They're finding space. And there's so many tired players out there on the ground at the moment.
Keating is hobbling from the ground. He's got to be as quick as he can, surely, to get Robin back on there.
It's the blood rule, Sandy, so they'll wait until Robin gets back into position.
That's okay then.
Well, Robin's a fresh player too, Sandy. Spent plenty of time on the interchange bench. Hasn't been onto the ground since half-time.
This set of bounce is all important.
1 3/4 minutes remaining.
Grant's got to charge in.
And it's the Adelaide Crows by 3 points in an amazing turnaround. A wonderful comeback. The Doggies have the chance now to go forward. Up towards right half forward. Go the kick from Martin. They want West to produce some magic. He does with a long kick. They need a mark up at full forward. Grant's a chance at the back. Chris Grant wobbles it in towards goal. It's 1 behind.
Gee, that was a tired attempt there as we see Keating getting some attention to a cut on his chin. But just watch this. One of these players should have protected the other player. Hudson not even considering that perhaps he should have given the ball and the guard to Chris Grant.
2 points the difference. Jamison has given the word to get on with the job. And he does to the outer side. Oh, Scotty Wine couldn't take the mark, tries to pull it back in. He needs help badly, but look at the Adelaide Crows now. There's a fierce determination about them. Sniffing that maybe they're just a minute or so away from a grand final berth.
Well, Sandy, one side has to protect the lead here. The other side's got to win the game.
Wren, Wine, the big men lock arms. Push cleverly towards Chadrin Toole. He'll look towards the boundary line, but Bond is there, and that's okay. Troy Bond goes with a long bomb up towards Shane Ellen on right half forward. He's quick to pounce on it. Again, he's quick to lock it up. And there'll be another bounce. Another bounce, Drew, and seconds tick away.
Well, the Crows looking to get their first finals victory in Melbourne. And they're in the last minute, they're in front. Liberatore to Cameron. Maybe there's a last yelp for the Bulldogs yet. Half forward, Scott West in front. Dragged down, a magnificent tackle by Bickley. And Mark Bickley, the skipper, forces a ball up with 18 seconds left. And considering the Bulldogs haven't scored a goal for over a quarter, you wouldn't think that they'd use the last 18 seconds perfectly. It's looking like the Crows. They lead by 2 points. What a turn-up after a 31-point margin at half-time. Crows were goalless in the first term. Bulldogs have been goalless in the last. Scott West again. It drops short. Edwards gets back there. The hand pass away. Jamison. Siren! Crows are in the grand final!
Oh, look at them, they've gone mad at Football Park. And the players, well, look at Libba. Bubba Smith cannot believe it. There's been so much written and so much said. But the reality is the Dogs have missed out. Malcolm Blight and his men are through. Heartbreaking scenes and heartbreaking times for the Dogs. Triumph for the Adelaide Crows, KB.
Yes, but look, let's give full credit to Adelaide.
Yeah.
They look to be down and out at half-time. They've come back with one of the great wins that we've seen in finals football. And this win today could be the absolute makings of the Adelaide Football Club. They look gone. I said at one stage that maybe the fire in the belly was gone out, but the pilot light was still burning. And let's go down to Neil Curley because he's got Malcolm Blight.
Well, Malcolm, you don't see many better fight backs than that.
No, it's one of the specials, isn't it? I mean, it was just, it was marvellous.
To take the game away from them, they looked in control.
Yeah, we went through it pretty rationally at half-time and just thought if we could win the third quarter and then if we could win the last quarter, and it's turned out we won it, so we won it. So, I mean, it was just an amazing game.
A lot of character shown there by the players.
Yeah, they've been a lot of fight all year, Neil, as you would know, and look, we had babies out there today that made some shocking blues early, but they fought back. It was great.
Well done.
Terry Wheeler, you're with Darren Jarman. Wills? Terry.
Okay, Darren, an incredible comeback in the last quarter.
I can't believe it, Terry. You know, Malcolm said go out and enjoy the last quarter, and anything's happened. And as you see, we just got up.
So Aaron Keating started to give a bit in the middle.
Yeah, he's worked real hard, Aaron, and you know, he had a bad injury at the start of the year, but he's worked his butt off to get back, and as you see, the boys are pretty happy.
But Jars, bugging me, Dad, you were down and out, but you've come out with something.
Yeah, Malcolm put me to full forward, tried to get out one-on-one, and you know, the kick a couple at the end there was terrific.
Good on you. Go and enjoy it, fella.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Terry Wheeler, I think, putting on a brave face. The old doggy must be disappointed, but look at the Crow boys. Hart, Jamison and Co, Tyson, Edwards, Matthew Robert. While now the Bulldogs must reflect on a season that has given the football public, KB, so much, hasn't it? Terry Wallace and his band of men have been fantastic.
It was going to be the Cinderella Grand Final at half-time. St Kilda against the Western Bulldogs. Just one premiership each for those two clubs. But we've got to hand it to Adelaide. To come from behind, they lost champion Tony Modrell in the game. It was good to see him out in the field, a huge smile on his face, so pleased for his teammates, even though he won't be there next week, and there he is on screen just hobbling along. But they came back from adversity, and they've pulled off one of the great final wins of all time. Don't forget they lost one here against Essendon. They've been on both sides of the coins, Tim.
There's no doubt about that. As we see Terry Wallace, and he's obviously a dejected man. Look, there's a fine line between victory and defeat. We see those Adelaide Crows, and I guess Jeff Kennedy will be rubbing his hands together because we'll have all these interstaters here again next week and all that money going into the coffers, Sandy.
And don't try and ring Ansett at the moment because they're engaged. But well done to the Adelaide Crows. A phenomenal effort. As we said, they did look in real bother. They looked dead and buried.
Such a fine line. You mentioned, Tim, when Mark West in that last dying minute ran into the open goal. If he kicks a goal, it's all over. Even Chris Grant had that opportunity. Maybe just not enough talk between Hudson and Grant, which gives you that split second which enables him to just put the ball through.
A lot of what-ifs, KB, but I think some of the moves made at half-time too by Malcolm Blight to put McLeod up onto the ball, to get Bond up onto the ball, got Kane Johnson into the play, shifted smart, as you say, and also the move of Darren Jarman deep into the forward line in that last quarter too, because all of a sudden they looked extremely dangerous when they went forward, and aren't they enjoying it down there in the Crows' rooms?
Yes, they certainly are. To pick up some of the boys, there was Stephen Trigg.
Well, Pittman, as we saw a moment ago, he now has the opportunity to play in the grand final.
It's incredible, isn't
serving
it?
that 1 week suspension.
And we've got to spare a thought for Paul DiMartino, who we spoke to at half-time. At that stage, it looked as though he was going to play in a grand final.
Now, in South Australia, do you want to sing along?
I've heard you're singing.
I don't want to sing.
But I tell you what, yes, I'm sure they will at the convention centre. Stand up and sing. Well, they are bound for glory now, as that sign said from the convention centre, because they're going to be here at the MCG on that one day in September. And what a time that's going to be for some of the young players like Kane Johnson, who really did come into his own in the second half.
I thought he was a terrific player in that second half. I thought Tyson Edwards, also cross half back in that last quarter, was extremely good. And Nigel Smart took a couple of critical marks, but they just seemed to have a lot more run in their legs, didn't they, than the Western Bulldogs, who really tightened up in that last quarter. West went out of the game, Johnson went out of the game, Libber went out of the game, and they just didn't appear to have anybody who was able to grab the great game by the scruff of the neck when they needed it most.
So at the end, it was a 2-point margin for the Crows. Their first finals win in Victoria, 12-21, defeating the Western Bulldogs 13-13.